deal today. The Delaware court now suggesting that the two sides come up with a plan to ensure this deal gets closed and then return later in the day. So again, both sides have been asked to go away, talk about it, and then come back later in the day to ensure this deal gets done. That's the latest from the Wall Street Journal. Twitter still halted, and remember, on a news halt, there's no time attached to that. We could get any day now, any hour now. It could be this afternoon. It could be tomorrow morning. It could be Thursday or Friday this week before we get this confirmed. Again, if you missed it, the latest here, the Wall Street Journal reporting that the Delaware judge has asked the two sides to go away, come up with a plan as to how this deal can close, and then come back later today. So they'll be back in court, I guess, today. Anyways, it's been a busy day. A little bit of news coming across. DXC, the latest to halt. We'll talk about that in a second. That's the way the market looks right now. 2.7 for the S&P, 2.25 here for the Dow. The NASDAQ almost 3% still, trying to get back to the upside. We've had numerous Fed members talking throughout the afternoon. Fed's Daily, the latest, just making comments now regarding the labor market, the overall stock market seeming to like that, and is moving back to the upside after we had this sell-off. But we'll keep our eyes on that. Again, DXC still halted, some M&A activity there. The company did actually come out and confirm that they have been approached with an offer. So DXC could be a possible deal, but it is still a new volatility halt. Elon Musk proposing closing Twitter deal on original terms. Again, that's the latest from the Wall Street Journal. So more and more coming out here. ATVI as well. There was a headline on ATVI suggesting a decision from regulators on the Activision deal could come as soon as November for that. So didn't really move, actually sold off a little bit on that. Here's a quick look at the S&P 500 as far as sectors are concerned. A ton in the green here. Travel names just absolutely monstrous today. NCLH, RCL, CCL, all double-digit % gainers right now, just huge. Industrials, tech stocks, the entire market having a huge day. Twitter, yeah, still halted here, up 12.6%. We'll see if we get that back open today. Again, possibly could be anywhere, in the next week or so. I'll put it that way. Let's get into a few things we were discussing. I'm keeping my eye on anything new that's coming out. A few things we were discussing this morning is what I was trying to say. We'll start things off with Neil is going to lead today with, what an opportunity this was when it broke on both sides. It was Tesla, first of all, to the downside. Twitter obviously makes the move higher. Here comes Neil.
Yes, your trade of the day, it's going to be Tesla today, and it's brought to you by Day Trade. The world is always scan that QR code, get your day trading journey started in the right way, and the right way to do it is to trade what's moving. Now, when we came in today, I'm not going to know that what's going to happen later on in the session is going to, so I have to get the lay of the land here on how we were proceeding. We were gapped down after that delivery number. And I think everyone remembers yesterday, you had that big move to the downside. You had all of the flushes through 250. You're making those huge bottoms at that 241, 242 range. So you've set the range. But here's where I'm going to be looking. It's right back at this 256, and it's like 257.70 or around 258. That's the channel at the top that I was looking for resistance. And when we were gapping to the upside, you had Rivian delivery numbers come through. You had all these names making some big bottoms, and you were essentially gapped up in Tesla and looking like you were trying to decide off that 250. And at the open, really, you were still going back and forth sideways. And we always talk about this. Sometimes you got to wait for that key price. And when I was looking at it, I said in the pre-market, I like that 256 area. If I'm going to short Tesla, that's where it's going to be. And so until we get up, make some highs, and it took until about 10:30 or so before you made a top just beneath that 255. I was like, okay, you have a double top. We're getting close into that range. I took one shot at it a little bit far away, immediately just said, forget it. It's still not 256, reversed into a nice little scalp long trade. That put in a wick top, and at that point, the high of the day was about 255.70, right? So you had a failed breakout at 55 into that 55.70. That's right in that 256 range. Now I'm starting to look for the short trade. Wick top, jump into the short beneath 55, scalp it out, retest the high, short into that high, able to take some out 54s, 53s. It pops back up, rejects 56 again, short in front of 56 another time, scalp it out. And this is the one trade that I don't like out of this entire sequence. It's right here. At this point, we've been shorting. only getting it in front of that 56. I'm like, oh, this is going down. Let's add to it here. Let's add to the short. Let's sell it down around that 54. I think that was a bit of a mistake. Thankfully, I did leave myself enough room that when it came back up, I was able to add in front of 56 in case it didn't break. But of course it did. And that's the thing. That's Murphy's Law, man. The one time you get away from your price, that's going to be the one time you get in and it's going to run your stop. Therefore, you're going to end up losing more than you want to. But what do we get? What happens? Another wick high through our same entry price level, and then a rejection another time. So I just jumped right back into the trade, this time off of 56. Now the context of what's happening in the market matters here, because you were testing on the ES at 3,800 over and over and over again without breaking. So the futures, even the NASDAQ, is in a top range and refusing to break it. So you know it's going to be pretty solid. I'm back in the trade off of 56. Then I get one fill, I'm scalping it out, and you can see what's about to happen here, so it's kind of obvious. It retests the high of the day, I'm short in front of the high of the day, and sometimes bank error in your favor. Like I was shorting this off of the level into the move thinking it was going to drop. It's not because Elon's going to come out and say he wants to pay full price for Twitter. There's just no way you're going to know that's going to happen. At that particular time, I'm already on the bid. There is nothing you can do about it in this situation. By the time I was literally yelling out to the midday guys, our midday show, Tesla, 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 it's already run through and putting the fills in. There's not much you can do about it if you have resting bids out there as a day trader. But it was essentially free money down into 250. Can't do anything about the 55 bid. Once it came down another leg, I was like, oh, I'm getting out in front of 250. That was level before. At that point, I did not even know what the news was, so I could not do anything but make a judgment call. I'm blind here, let's get out in front of 250. Once the news was disseminated, then we're working beneath the 250 level, and you're able to say pop, short consolidation off 250. I scalped inside of the range. At this point, I thought we had made a little bit of a bottom, and we're still waiting on confirmation. So it was essentially a free money, like $1.50 to $2 scalp down off of that 250 area, and you're still respecting some of these levels here. The truth of the matter is, if you're shorting this one, it was a frustrating one until it got to those key prices. And then sometimes the best you can do, I mean, I would have had for sure a winning trade on this. There's no question about it. But the best you can do is make a snap decision here. Am I holding? Am I getting out? I did not at that moment in the split second know the news when I was staring at 250, so I just took it and ran. Whether or not it's the right call, you've got to make one in the moment. It's your trade of the day. It's more about the patience of waiting for your levels and then allowing yourself to be right when moves like this end up happening. But it respected that top. Nothing you can do about that. Now we get to see what actually happens with Twitter. There's your trade of the day here on Tesla, as always brought to you by Day Trade the World.
Great opportunity on Tesla. Just a perfect example of you got to be in your seat watching what is happening in the overall market to take advantage of great moves like that. We'll get back into Tesla here. Just keeping my eye on a few more things that are happening. Right now, that's the link to the watch list, guys. Make sure you grab that every single day. Tesla was on the watch list this morning for an entirely different reason, but make sure you get that every single day for free, delivered right to your inbox. A few things to note. TTD, the trade desk, another company having their investor day today, apparently discussing Netflix at said investor day. So everyone's well aware, Netflix going to have an ad-supported version soon to hit the marketplace. TTD, an advertising or online digital advertising company. So heads up on the trade desk here, trying to make a move to the upside. There's been a couple of volume spikes from that. The other notable name right now is DXC. Did resume trading here to the downside. Again, this was just a rumor of a possible takeover for DXC. The company did come out and said, yes, they were approached. Looks like it resumed all the way back to where it actually started, this move to the upside anyways. But lots going on. ATVI, as I mentioned as well, had a bit of a volume spike there. They said November, possibly November, we'll get a decision on Activision and Microsoft. Let's go back in time a little bit here on this whole Twitter Tesla ordeal before we get into things a little bit more. If you missed it, the latest here on Tesla, if we could, thanks, Lucas. Elon saying, yeah, let's go ahead with the deal at the original terms. That was right at 2 o'clock from the Wall Street Journal after a whole bunch of what ifs, I guess, for Tesla. in the past hour or so. So there was a letter apparently delivered from one side to the other that happened early on this morning or even overnight. I saw a few people suggesting the judge in the court in Delaware has said, now both of you go away and talk nicely and come back this afternoon with a plan, guys. So what does this mean, I guess, as far as a trade? Potentially, I mean, it's a news halt, so we could get Twitter back open or we possibly could not.
I mean, I actually was saying to Sean, like, I bet you $1 because we like to bet $1. I like to bet $1 anyways. It's like, it's one of those Randolph and Mortimer from Trading Places. It might not open back up today.
I mean, not if that's
and that's the thing. Like, I think you don't, like, they're going back and they're waiting. I actually don't even think it's going to open up, but it might. And it's pretty simple. Well, I think it'll be relatively simple. If it opens, if 54.20 is the news that gets disseminated and it's a deal, then I think if it gets anywhere close to that price, I want to short it because it's not going to go above. There's no other bidders to come into this stock. Like come on, no one else is bidding.
No, it's not, he has the exclusivity.
Yeah, he has exclusivity. It goes up near that price. I think you fade the deal price. I'd probably start that at 53.5 or something. And then you'd look for some shorts. I seriously doubt if that's the news, you get any opportunity to grab a reasonable long because it probably opens up way too close to it. But you never know. I mean, if it opens up south of 50, everyone's going to be trying to get the long. I think that's ridiculous. If the deal were to be done, it would not open south of 50. If it did, that essentially would seem to me to be free money. But yeah, I'll be shorting it off the top because there's probably some regulatory hurdles that'll have to go through, time value, money, all that nonsense. I think Tesla could be an interesting trade. Going into this, I'm going to trade Tesla. It's not to say that there's zero risk. You know, Twitter could open back up. You could get some news one way or the other. But I think we all understand here that downward pressure on the stock because people might think Elon's going to sell more. He already has sold. We know this to try to pay for this in case. So he might sell some more after earnings, who knows? But either way, I think you can still trade this, maybe to the short side, as long as it's beneath 250. I was just looking at 248 before I had to get up and got stopped out of my Roblox trade, but I'm going to go back to shorting Roblox. I just think that we can play off 248 and then off of 250 for some shorts here. Always have a stop because, you know, you're going to have some risk with regards to an open, but I'm not even sure we get it open on Twitter, to be honest with you. I
mean, I don't think, yeah, if that's the news that they're talking, you know what could happen? It never opens.
That's yeah.
Never.
Well, I don't know if that might not, because I don't think they can close it right away. Like there's still time to.
I mean, they could just say write the check and Twitter doesn't open ever again. Here's the keys. I don't know.
The deal can't close that fast because
I don't know.
It still needs regulatory approvals.
There's still
there's still more that has to happen.
But I don't. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Anyways, we are short right now, and it's money in the money on Netflix. We absolutely destroyed this name here today. Big short there at 240, covered at 235. That's just a third. Shorted it again and then hitting it all the way to the downside, and now short again. And the reason why I just want to cover this quickly is because I'm like, that's my out, like 237.50 basically. So, you know, you're sort of just barcoding around here. It did dip down, you know, and I was debating covering this into 236. But when you see this Netflix trade, there really isn't. Like when we came down here, it's just hindsight looking back at it and saying, oh, maybe this was a good stop spot. But, you know, it made that second wick to the downside, so that's 236.30. I still think we could break lower on this name. Remember, it was going the other way when the market was ripping here today. Market up 3% or so. Right now, I don't even know what we're up anymore. Is it still 3%? Yeah, so still 3% and NASDAQ down. So, you know, definite relative weakness here. So if the market does continue to pull back a little bit like it had been doing, then maybe we do see some of these levels again. But either way, this is a very, very easy trade to slip out of, right? So we have our spot right here at 237.50 to get out, which would be a really nice win. Okay, Meta's come back down in. This is the position that relatively new position, well, not new position, but this fill is new. We just grabbed that fill down there at 140.50, which we're almost out. Like if this cracks too much lower, like this is not a name that I want to be dug into here if the market does break this 50 period. So just, I mean, I could be in and out of this real fast. If this breaks through 40, we're out. I only want to take a 10-cent hit here maximum on this meta position. So it's a little too risky for me. We do have an oversized position right now. And I don't know what these futures are going to try to do. So we'll see if we can get it out. We just took a little bit out there at 54. We'll see if it can come back up to the upside. It's basically a flat trade now. I don't like what we're doing, but we have the fill. So this is probably going to slip out right now. But let's just see what happens here with meta. New position on this one. I know we're talking about Tesla. Look, Tesla for me is the only stock I'm going to be red on today. Well, we'll wait to see about AMD, but right there, we were short all freaking day on this name, until this move. And that came out of nowhere, so that's fine. I still think we want to reshort it. It's just trying to find catalysts and whatnot to do that, right? So we'll see. I mean, it looks like the market might be the catalyst as it's trying to break the 50 period right now as well and head back down to the downside. So yeah, we might get slipped up here on this meta trade, but we have Microsoft that's down. We have Amazon that's still $2. I mean, look at this high that we have on Amazon. That's still $2+ in the money. But yeah, Tesla was frustrating early. I like the stock. It's the #1 name on the sticky note to short near that 250 area. Unfortunately, though, it had a nice move to the upside today. And for me, Tesla is a gigantic loser.
Back to a week ago today, if you remember, it was Elon's deposition was supposed to take place, and we sat here, it was about this time in the afternoon, saying that that deposition was canceled, and at the time, the current CEO of Twitter was also supposed to be deposed, but that was also canceled, and everybody started speculating at that time that maybe there was a deal in place and that they had figured something out and this was going to go ahead. They later came out and said none of that was true and that no negotiations had happened. Yada, yada, yada. Fast forward a week later, here we are again on a Tuesday, and it would appear that that is, in fact, exactly what is happening. This is the NASDAQ Halt page. A lot of people saying, what's going on with Twitter? What's going on with Twitter? It's halted. T1 is news pending. Resumption date here, still blank. Resumption quote time, still blank. Resumption trade time, still blank. So on a news pending halt, this could be, as I said, later today. This could be tomorrow morning. This could be a week from now. This could be, as Sean was mentioning, possibly they close the deal. And I'll throw this back to you guys in the sense that this is a take private deal. Elon's taking the company private. They already had the shareholder vote. They approved it unanimously. If they just go back to the deal conditions as they were initially laid out, maybe this could just close.
The only reason that I'd be skeptical of that was because there were some, I'm not to name any politicians out. We don't get into politics, but there were some objections, is the way I'll put it, from a few lawmakers. So I'll leave it at that. So like if there was a hurdle, that's the only one I can think of. And until I know for sure that wouldn't be the case, then we're in a waiting game anyways, man. If it's 54.20, it's a matter of if and when. I almost see no reason why it's opening today. It doesn't make any sense. Quite frankly, I'm surprised that they opened the stock up the first time when, if the tweet was that it's possible that the 54.20 was happening, this is the same thing that happened with Spirit Airlines, right? Like, they open it back up on that speculation, it goes haywire, and then they just close it, awaiting confirmation of the news that got tweeted out anyways. It's like, well, just halt it for news if that's what it might be initially on the volatility halt, and then you're not dealing with that nonsense. But look, if you happen to be long this, you're probably feeling pretty solid. If you got most of these long, I don't know. Even the 50 long, unless this is just flat out false, then every one of these longs is going to be obviously good. If it happens to open up, the only trade, in my mind, because it'll probably open right near that price, it would be to fade it. So, again, I don't know that we're going to get to really do much trading in Twitter. So it feels like it's going to be a bit of a nothing burger. Tesla is fair game. I think we can still trade Tesla, but I don't think we get a crack at this, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, if it doesn't open, we can't do anything. I see some of the super chats out there. Yeah, what's up to Brian? So he says here, I have 2,000 shares of Twitter, short at 49.63. Oh, that was a good price. 1,000 of these shares are on margin. What happens if that's the situation, if it just closes? Well, then I think that your broker would unfortunately have to give you 54.20. Yeah, so you'd be out $4 on that short or $5 on that short. I mean, that's the way that I would see it. So Basically, they take all the shares that are out there in the market. I'm on Meta right now because I'm still long that name, and I just got out of half of that, so that was a good one. But yeah, I mean, here it is halted right now, right? So we'll just see where it goes from here. But there is a perfect world for a short out there where they come out of this negotiation and they say, you know, I don't know. I mean, you know, Elon could have said, look, I'll do 54.20 if this, that, and the other thing. And then if that's not met by the board or by the arbiter or whoever's sort of, you know, the middleman in this, you know, arbitration, I guess, is basically what it is, then, you know, maybe potentially it does open up a lot lower than where we are now. Maybe there is a sort of a silver lining that says, you know, if we can't come up with something in the next 20 days, then Twitter, then, you know, this deal is no more. Like, at this point, your speculation, mine, everybody's is the same.
I'm not sure it says, he doesn't say he's short specifically.
Doesn't it?
It just says he has 2,000 of Twitter at 49.63. 1,000 are on margin. What happens in this situation?
Oh, I thought,
So
I
it
just
might-
imagined that he was short.
I mean,
well, if you're long, it's all, I mean.
But it's the same. You're still waiting
same
for.
situation.
Yeah, you're still waiting for the same situation. Like you're stuck until.
I
they
mean,
open
you'd rather
back
be
up.
long
No,
in
yeah,
this situation,
Yeah,
I
in this
think.
situation, it feels like you'd rather be long, but
think.
it's almost like a distinction without a difference from the actual nuts and bolts of what happens.
But
it has happened even for day traders. It's happened here where something like this, and you're in a position. There's nothing you can do till it closes. I can tell you when it happened. Here, essentially, it was once the deal was closed. There was some time for clearing after the fact, but you just get the cash price. Everything closes at that particular price.
Yeah.
There might be a little bit of a delay. I know there was when it happened to a trader here. There was a slight delay for clearing for a few days. To get it. But I mean, if it is 54.20, that's what you get.
I've been in deals before where I've bought X amount of shares and then it closed all cash, went private. You don't do absolutely anything at all. And then the day after or you know, T+2 or depending on whatever happens with the deal, I guess, the money is just deposited into your account. So in that situation, if you're long, you probably just made about 10 grand, 2,000 shares times $5. If that gets settled out, that's what I would do. And honestly, man, Brian, I wouldn't sell any of those when this market opens back up. I feel like the deal is going to get resolved. And I mean, let's just see what the headline is. But if it does come out and says it's good to go, then all you really got to do is use the time value of money and assume that if the deal's going to close Q3, again, throwing it out, then you have 180 days until you get your $10,000, or you could get $9,000 today. Like if the stock just motors around $53, then you could say, okay, will I want to wait an extra 100 days to get that final print, or do I just want to get out? But either way, man, it's a money. You know, in that situation, you'd want to be long. So let's just wait to see where it goes. Congratulations to all the longs and anybody that's been patient. Me, myself, and I'm long Twitter as well, but mine's in the 30s or maybe even $25 from a hell of a long time ago. Not a big position. So I'm a pretty happy guy that's happening today as well. But we'll wait to see, man. I don't want to count the chickens before they hatch.
Yeah, what a story, what a prolonged story this has been. Kind of fitting that it looks like it's going to end up this way. So again, just for anyone wondering again, it's the Wall Street Journal saying original terms. They're going to go back to the original terms of the deal, or that's at least what Elon is proposing they do. So if you dig those up from way back in the day when this first came up, you should have a better idea as to what this might entail, at least going forward for Twitter. I have it up on my screen, so if I see a quote, we'll bring that to you right away and see if we can't get back on top of Twitter. But again, it could stay halted for the rest of the day, for sure. Let's talk about some of these chips here, because we were wondering in the pre-market this morning if we were going to get a bit of a bounce. All of the related names across the pond in Europe were higher pre-market this morning after the EU approved this USB-C note going forward for Europe. So any mobile device going to have to use a USB-C charging port going forward right across the board, which had STM, ASML, all of the European-based chip makers higher this morning.
So I'm going to apologize in advance for the wicks on my NVIDIA chart here. Just not much I can, well, I mean, I could clean them up, but every time I try, it fails. I did get into Tesla. It's in this consolidation range beneath 248, so I'm going to start taking that off that level. If it goes, it goes. NVIDIA, it'll be a frustrating, if we did that segment, this is the one I'd be using for the frustrating stock because I was in the long in NVIDIA on the breakout, even got the dip buys off 129 when it came back in. It was kind of churning between 130. The last ditch right here when it stopped, broke the bottom end of the range, wicked me out, and then it decides to go. I'm going to go with this range and basically say if it gets back down to 129s, I'm going to work back into those longs. And right now, if I go to the higher time frame, on the 15 here, if you kind of look at where we are in the midst of this breakout, like we're trying to fill this gap. We just got right into this 132 area in terms of resistance back here on, it looks like the 22nd or so. And yeah, you're failing a bit of a lower high. So if the market's trying to roll over and put in a lower high as well, there are some shortable opportunities for NVIDIA. Currently, we're testing the top, so I want to see it fail that top. That's what I'm trying on Tesla. But I'll be on the 129 bid if it gets down there. I didn't end up getting anything in Intel at any point today. You know, it just never really set up the way I want. If Intel had broken down and continued a downward trend, that would have been what I would have been shorting. It just never happened. You can see Intel to the upside. So NVIDIA, for me, looking for those 29s, want to get long in front of that on any kind of a dip. If it rolls over off these levels and the market comes down, then I might look for some scalp shorts, but I'm already in Tesla.
All right, yeah, I just, so like we were talking about Netflix there, and I looked back, or sorry, we were talking about Tesla and Twitter there, and I looked back and was like, why is my Netflix trade still involved here? And I guess I just didn't cross enough. So, you know, once it broke that 50 level, I only crossed up to 60, 65. So I am surprised there that I didn't get out, but I did notice that I did not get out of that trade. So those of you that were looking like, damn it, I wish I had, because all of a sudden it's $1 higher right there. But we ran into VWAP at 239. So I was like, you know what? I was debating the short at this level anyways. So for me, you know, we'll short it right. I mean, I missed, like I said, I was completely like in la land there and missed that trade. So unfortunately, we would have been like to have had a short a little bit higher. But we're still, you know, we're now 65 cents in the money on that average. That's the short there in Netflix, but downside move. So, all right, we want to talk a little bit about the chips here just quickly. AMD, again, today, like we love trading this name. Unfortunately, we got stopped out of our big position when it broke through 69, but then it didn't go too much further. And again, like right on here, we have 69 written right on our sticky note here today. So again, stick with your notes, but there's 69. We have it going for a long. It went all the way up. It stopped. Then we went short, and then we just started capturing. Like these are out of the short here. 69. That's 68, right? And then we went short against 68, able to capture some profit. And now, right now, we're flat. I mean, we're long on AMD, but it's not. It's just from this 67.80 break right there. So you know, we're still long. We'll see if it can make a move back up to the upside. But for me, we have that great 63 level all the way down here. That was in play yesterday. Obviously, not going to be in play today, but you know, we'll watch out for that 69 one more time. But for right now, you're diddling in the middle. So I really like that call on AMD. I love trading it every single day, as many of you know. All right, so a averaged in position here on Meta, bang, bang. And you could see the kind of damage that we're doing. We're just getting it out here ahead of VWAP. It doesn't want to break above 140.80 right now. So my hands are sort of tied on this trade. The only next offer I have is at 140.90. So if we do get that break higher, good. And then after that, I sort of think like in here would make sense, 140, 150. But again, the market has to go. This is my biggest.
Broke.
Yeah, this is, okay, we'll go with Tesla in a second. This is my biggest position by far right now. So I have, just as an example, I have 5 times the shares in Meta that I do in Netflix, and the same here in Softy. So we just got a piece out on Softy. Let's see if Softy comes back down right now to the downside as Softy's starting to break. And there, maybe something just came out, but there it is, man. The market is going to the downside right now. Watch out, we might get out of this Meta downside move here in the market.
Yeah, there was just a wick top at 248. Like Tesla took out that 48, ran stops, and then came right back in. And apologies, because I'm on AMC right now because AMC just made a move up into $8 itself as that started screaming into the upside. And look, when it starts to get to a level like this, literally the last time I traded AMC, I had a long into this exact same level and then watched it drop $1.20 on me, and I basically made nothing on the short. So I kind of remember this level pretty well, but I just got wicked out on Tesla and then immediately jumped over to AMC. I'll switch level 2s over here so I can still watch AMC.
Netflix.
And then Tesla gave that top. You're asking what just happened? It was essentially this move right here. It ran stops, slammed back down. At the same time, the futures made a bit of a left turn. I was also talking about NVIDIA. That one is now turning into a short as it's breaking the channel to the downside. I still like the 129 long, but that's a wick off top in the market. AMC market somewhat, but also that $8 level.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with that market right there. So we'll flush ourselves down the toilet right there for Meta. But again, not a hit at the end of the day. It's not. It's just, it sucks because we were just talking about taking a 40-cent winner. And then, of course, whatever just happened. And the market got cracked there. But that's okay because, again, as one goes down, so does the other. So Netflix, again, we take $1 win on that one as it goes right back down to 238. So we take a bid at 94, 93 there after that. Sure, that's only 70 cents from that winner. But, okay, here we go. Now the market's just retracing back up to the upside. So I'm guessing now Meta probably wants to go back up. So we'll see if we can get a bid now on that. I don't know. What was there something there? Like I wonder. Shit.
I just saw a bunch of wick candles, man. Like, that's all I saw.
Oh man, that sucks because there goes Meta right back up to the upside. And I just tried to punch long and missed it. We'll take a little bit there. That's not a good price though. So let's just wait to see if anything happens there. I mean, I saw like some news about oil, but I don't know. That doesn't seem to be anything. Maybe a level just cracked, but we're back into long Meta here. I'm going to just try to respect whatever that bottom is, 30s now at this point. And just to say maybe this news story, whatever just happened there, maybe it was a technical level, but I don't really, on the NASDAQ, I don't see anything. Was there something on the ES maybe?
Well, there goes AMC through 8. So
AMC upside?
Yeah, it just took out 8. I caught this curl here, got 93s. You know where I'm out. I mean, it's right here, right at 801. So when we break that 8 level, I'm not even, when you try to fight this thing too hard to the short side, it's just not going to happen. I do not like buying longs up at levels like this. It just feels like you really have to scalp it a ton because at some point the risk favors that short. So I'd rather just sit it out and look for a bit of a curl. Tesla, looks like it was the right call to get out of it. So it did do a wick top, but now it's right back through that 48 level. Of course, as it came back through 48, I'm like, oh, you wick top it once. The second time you go through, I'm like, now that's going to set up as a bit of a long into that 250. I didn't actually get that long. I'll cancel it because if it comes slamming back down, I might not want it. I want it on the way back to that upside. But 250, I still think can be a little bit of resistance. This market is trying to go upside here. I'm looking to see if there's anything sympathy-wise on AMC. Like Bed Bath & Beyond's already up 9%, but it's not really screaming higher. So maybe this is just like one of these random AMC things on its own. It doesn't really need a catalyst, I suppose, but
not that name.
It doesn't seem like there is one.
No. All right. Let's go. I mean, we're just all over the place here.
Oh, I didn't realize we're still
no, you don't have to realize it. I mean, that's this is trading, right? So this is what happens when you're live trading, Brendo. Let's go with Apple.
Could, in fact, guys, have something to do with moving oil there at the close. It did sell off a little bit, but basically closing at the highs. Saudi Arabia apparently set to back a Russian plan to cut oil production at a meeting on Thursday. So a heads up on that. That could, in fact, be the reason we had a bit of a downtick there in the overall market. And this is exactly why, in defiance of the U.S. asking, obviously, to increase production to ease prices a little bit. So the Financial Times reporting that, again, Saudi Arabia going to back a Russian plan to have some big cuts in oil production. I wanted to mention Apple here because we were discussing Apple in the pre-market a little bit, back to highs right now. But, I mean, it hasn't really done much today. We had a nice gap to the upside. We're kind of just chopping around, going sideways, not even up as much as the overall NASDAQ here.
Yeah, Apple, I mean, another name. It's funny, I haven't really looked at that. I mean, I'm just into Meta here. We've gotten in and out of that one as that's sort of just dancing around a little bit. We've done a great trade on Amazon. But yeah, Apple's still at a nice little level right here too of 145.50. I feel like we were short initially right there, sort of at that pre-market level of 145.50 or so. Yeah, 145.50, that's right. And then it broke and we got out. So it was really just one short, take the cash, breaks, and that's the end of that. So it's just kind of like, not much damage done here, P&L wise either way on Apple, there's the short rate there, so that's 145.40. Brought it back down. Good trade. Our best out is 144.70. So again, about $1.70 or so cents on that. Then it made its move up, and we wound up getting out. So nothing really to worry about too much there on Apple, but I mean, just a more broader talk about it. There was that story that came out that crushed the stock about Bloomberg saying that their Apple, their iPhone 14, their Pro model was not popping off, and some of the suppliers need to get cut, and so on and so forth. And then today, Bloomberg comes out with a similar story, but the other way, saying that India production's really ramping up and they're kicking off some nice little levels and things like that, and producing the phones. But I guess both can be true. I mean, just because India is rocking right now doesn't mean that that sales and demand is upside. So we'll wait to see. I feel like the shoe hasn't dropped yet for Apple, although some would disagree. We went all the way down to 138. I mean, that's a pretty dramatic move, right? From 152 to 138 in 4 days. That's a big move for Apple, but still not at that low of 137 that was made, or sorry, 127 that was made right there. So that's a level to watch out for Apple. And a lot of people say this market can't do anything until Apple first retests those bottoms. I don't believe in that. The market will do whatever it wants. Just Apple's such a huge weighting that that it is going to carry this market. So for me, I think you just stay long this name. I like it probably better than the index, just because I know the environment and what Apple has. So I like the products. I like what they're doing. But again, you're still a little frothy on this name. I mean, what is the... Are we still at like 23 or 24? What is the PE here for Apple? Let me just have a quick look. I know historically it's probably a bit low for it. Oh, wow. Wow, okay. I said, what is the PE, 23 or 24? It's 23.5 right there for Apple. And I haven't looked at that in 6 months, but still relatively low there for Apple. So, relatively high, could come out a little bit. People say the S&P needs to be down to like 15 PE. So if that happens to Apple, then forget about it. This is down to $100. So I'd watch this name pretty carefully, especially if the market does decide to turn around here. It is still richly priced.
That it is. I have to show my 15-minute chart because my 3-minute is hating me when it comes to Apple today. So, I mean, it is what it is. I'll show you in a quick second. But it did make a break eventually this morning off of the 145. And there were some good scalp trades. That's pretty much all you were going to get. There's no 157. That's some crazy dark pool candle. But once it reclaimed it to the downside, I was simply out of it. I was sitting in this and Alphabet for some longs, and it was just... Like it was decent. Like they both worked. There was just not enough follow through, considering what was going on in the market, right? And eventually, like even in Alphabet too, like it was a good break. It just never really followed quite all the way through. I ended up moving away from it into things that were moving. So it's all you can do at this point. Like this happened to me the last time I traded Alphabet a couple of weeks ago, where like it was a winner. It just where's the oomph?
Yeah.
Where's the $2-3 move when the market was up that strong? It just didn't have. It's up 3%.
It doesn't move like that intraday, really.
No, since the split, I don't want to say it's been. For a few days, it was fantastic. I want to say for the first week, it was great. But since then, I don't know. It feels like it moves too slowly. You can get some wins on it, but you have to change up your style, do way more scalping. Those holds aren't happening. There's this wick on AMC. I guess I don't need to be on my 15 for that because this should. There's this wick through, but you saw what happened in my 3-minute chart there. No data in the last hour. So there's the wick top through this level. It slammed back down, so I am back into the short. If I see a wick top, I jump back into it. I'll stop out and jump back in. That's generally the style I'm going for. If we take out a fresh high, then I'll be out of AMC. Someone just said in the chat, or at least they did when I was looking, that there was indeed just now a volume spike in Bed Bath & Beyond, so it continues to turn. This does turn higher.
Is this what we're doing?
Yeah, like $7. There's room on this one to go, at least. So I'm going to tempt fate here. Ooh, my 3-minute is fine on this stock. Yeah, there's actually room to go. If I get stopped out on AMC, this has room to $7. If we're continuing to go, I actually don't mind buying Bed Bath & Beyond. Better risk to reward to where I think resistance is, where we've already touched that level that I think I want to be reversing on AMC. So if there's a stop out through the high of the day in AMC, and I can still grab Bed Bath & Beyond somewhere reasonably around the 650 to 660 area, and then I would go ahead and do that. But for now, I'm shorting AMC.
And guys, as we try to wrap things up here, I'm just keeping my eye on Twitter still. Rivian still up 12.8%, basically at day highs here. It did break out above that initial high that we put in, but coming back in a little bit if you missed it. Production was decent for the quarter as we got Rivian out with their numbers to wrap up a week full of EV production numbers. They also said full year, they're still on target for 25,000.
Yeah, Rivian, so look great. I mean, it's a good name. They're well off some of their bottoms here for Rivian, and it looks like it wants to continue to work to the upside. We wrote down on our sticky note that we were trying to look at that 35.50 area, so we go short initially at on that initial pop. So it was down. It was down early, right? It's already up. It was up 9% or so when we started. It ripped up there 235 that we've seen already. So I sat there and shorted it. My best out there 34.40. So that's 60 cents or so. I mean, we were short at 80, so I guess that's 40 cents there. Then we did carry it. We carried a little bit of it back up where we shorted 40s and then got out at 50s. So net, not a great trade there for Rivian for me today. But we are coming up to another level, I guess, on the daily here of 40. We're not there yet. I mean, I was looking at $40. But yeah, I guess we're not really at any key levels on the daily. We've wicked up to 37 before there. It looks like a couple days. So that could be something to look at. You're still well away from that. So I'm not overly excited about that trade right there. But Rivian today, I mean, I guess I still think it's a short, until they can prove that they're able to make some money. We already know that this is a very, very tough market here, but they're like I said, they're well off the bottom. Yesterday it was $31. Today you're getting 36. So I think that's worth taking some profit there on Rivian. But there it is. There's the pullback, 36.20, the high for the day. So maybe you break below this 50 period and go. But look, we did that here. This one worked all the way to the downside. But right now, yeah, Rivian looks like it wants to take down and respect that 36. So maybe we've seen the high of the day here on RIVN. I'm not quite sure myself.
Yeah, I mean, I had a short off that 34 area at the open. It really looked for all the world that it was going to go. The market was churning higher and Rivian was holding the low. Eventually it broke out. I just never joined the party at 35. Sometimes you get anchored to your initial position. And I was willing to trade it in both ways, but just ended up not taking the breakout. I'm sort of with you. Like at these highs, unless we're pressing new highs, it just feels like the risk reward on this even would favor the shorts. But being back into AMC, having Roblox, having Nvidia, which I didn't go over Roblox, apologies there. I mentioned Roblox several times. I didn't actually tell you guys about it. So the 39 level, which I think I mentioned on the morning show, I like the shorts when we get to this price. Obviously a big turning point in Roblox. There was one break and I reversed into the long. It's like, okay, we're breaking out. Market didn't break out. So that was a fail break. If there's a fail break in a wick top, my rule is jump back in if you like it, and it's been a good one, so I'm right back into the Roblox short. So with 3 on there, I don't know that I'd add Rivian to the kitty there. The market is up 3%, and you're right now trying to test at least a lower high. So if you got something you like, take your shot at it. Keep your eye on that Bed Bath & Beyond. And I think, I don't know if we didn't really mention some of the travel names. And I say that with a chuckle because CCL is at like 780 and RCL is going absolutely ham. Yeah, I got out at 765. Like I said in the morning, it gets to that 765 level, I'll start trying to short CCL. I did. It didn't last very long. I got out of my last long at 730.63. Shorted on the way back down at 63. Just kept adding to it at 63. Stopped out the high and haven't traded it since. It's only going higher. I don't know if I can't buy it up here, up 13%, the market not making fresh highs. It's a great relief rally on both of these. It just feels like come on, it's come a little bit too far. But adding to shorts at this point, I'd like to see this market start falling before I want to be adding shorts at this moment.
All right, so, I mean, I want to put on a big trade here somewhere, and I have Meta.
No.
What'd you say?
No, I'm just like as jokes, Bed Bath & Beyond.
Oh, Bed Bath & Beyond. No, I mean, that's fine. Like AMC, Bed Bath & Beyond, something like that. I feel like I'm in the wrong name, though, with Meta. It's just kind of bouncing around, but it looks like it wants to start to edge lower now, right? I mean, every single time we sort of dance on the futures, we're making lows. Like, it doesn't want to dance higher. It wants to dance lower. So, like, the futures aren't in trouble here at all. It's just hovering, but you could see, like, hovering around, not doing anything. This is like the worst environment for a trader like me because I'm trying to, like, hold on to something, and then, you know, once we test the bottom, I have to get out because I'm not like adjusting my share sizes. So I should be on less, there it is. Yeah, I should be on less shares here. But I just feel like this, we're gonna get out in a minute here as it breaks. Just want to double check the price. Yeah, breaking of 25 for Meta, but it just feels like this wants to, you know, make its way back down to the downside right here. So, you know, we'll take a 25-cent hit or so on Meta. But see, like right there, we almost got stopped out, and then it just rips back up 10 pennies. Like, it's not a rip, but you know what I'm getting at? It's like, I can't win for losing, if that, you know, that terminology. But yeah, it looks like this will probably get us stopped out. But one stock that I'm a little more confident in, I mean, let's see if Meta works. I just don't love the long here, so I don't really know. Is if we break this 237.50 right here on Netflix. So we already are short right there. That same level that I missed going upside there, where, you know, with these huge candles once we broke, I almost feel like we can go the other way on that break back down. So that's 237.50 right there. I feel like if it breaks, then we probably visit at least 237 right there, right? And then if we don't, then we do have a 238 that we can get out on if we're going to use the VWAP right now. So, you know, a few trade ideas right there. We're going to hold Meta against that quarter. And then I actually like Netflix. I mean, look at this. It's down on the day. All we've done today is win on it. I mean, it's my number one. Is it my number one stock? Well, I guess no, Amazon is, but okay, Amazon is by far. But this is pretty close. Netflix, I was actually looking at Meta. So Amazon and Netflix are pretty close. Meta right now position pending, might get wiped out. But there it is, Netflix. I actually just like it if we break right there, 237.50, then I could see us having a lower tick right now. So let's see what happens. See this market, how it's ticking back up? So it's near the high of the range. Meta is just at the bottom, right? So I feel like I'm going to take a little bit out here on Meta and be somewhat responsible because I am thinking that there is a little bit of an issue here. There we go. Get some 43s out there as it just prints us before going right back to flat. But we take a little bit out. That was about 15% there.
Yeah, just a couple of things. I see AERC moving. It's an interesting one because they're buying in a stock deal, right? They're buying this private company, Molecular. It's a merger, essentially, right? But it's just continuing to scream. So all-stock merger with a private company, you know, there's always going to be some synergies there. Like, I'm not going to be able to speculate on what this is actually worth because I don't know the company. I can tell you that, you know, very likely if this makes one more push up, it gets to like 7 or something like that, it could get really juicy to the upside. NVIDIA just got taken out, went through 131. And of course, like, every single time I get out, it's a wick top. But I'm not going to jump back into that one. It's been a relatively strong name. I just think this could have room into 7 if it tries to go just on a purely technical basis. But it's already showing signs of a pullback, like right here, right now. You know, the spread, well, a second ago, the spread was opening up. You still have pretty good volume, but it just put a pretty decent wick top in there. So if you're watching this, just be careful. I don't think it's going to matter if AMC rolls over to this thing, but I mean, I've seen that game happen in the past where pretty much every gapper it's going to load. Every gapper runner, I'll go to my 15 for AMC because for whatever reason, that one doesn't want to load up. Every gapper runner, if they pull back at the same time, you can see profit taking on mass. Because it's a deal, I don't think that would apply to AERC, but AMC is making another run at that top. If it rejects here, I think we could see it. I don't have bids out. I'm probably going to throw some in the 60s, 70s, maybe one in front of 80, and then go back over and look at that Bed Bath & Beyond. Because if that gets taken, if AMC gets taken out, then you can still get a pretty decent price for Bed Bath & Beyond on the way to $7, where I think there's obvious resistance in that particular name. So still opportunities out there in some of these small cap movers. That Tops, there's another one making some moves here. It's already rejected its high.
Making tops?
Yeah, I should have used the word tops there. It's already rejected its top.
There we
go. So it's not making any new tops. I haven't paid for locates on this.
Look at Meta.
But look at that lower high off $6. This one feels like it's already coming in.
I'd give myself credit for Meta, but I was just saying that I was like, you know what? I don't know if this is going to go. Yeah, about that. Meta right now, 40 cents in the money. What's up, Brendan?
Comcast just popping up on some volume here, guys. Looks like The Verge, I want to say, reporting that, no, it's Variety.com, reporting that their subscribers for their Peacock streaming service topped 15 million in Q3, which is, I guess, an early release on that number. But a heads up on Comcast on a bit of an uptick there.
All right, we'll just go money.
Money.
Now I can't hear it, so it's probably too low, but as long as it's good for you guys right there. And again, this is not like, we went long against nothing really. I mean, we went long against the market, but you know what? I was wrong on this because I'm not wrong. I'm making that money, and it's a very nice trade, and it's bringing me back, which is real nice. But, I was not thinking that Meta had this explosive move in it. I actually thought that we were probably going to go to the downside because of the reasons I gave. It was weak against the market, but you're seeing right now that it is actually turning up. So we just got a piece out right there at VWAP, which is 84. That was a good, did we get 84s? No, we got 81, sorry. And then on the way up, I just started taking it out. So we still have half on, so it's all good. We still got half of the position on. We didn't take out that much. Now let's see, maybe now that we're back to the day's high in the NASDAQ, we're not. Scratch that. I didn't realize we were up this much today. We were up like 3.5% all the way up there. Okay. So I guess we have a little ways to go before we get upside, which is good for me because we are holding that long right now in Meta. But again, let's just start to get out a little bit here as it comes back. There we go. We'll take 20% of what we just had out right there at 72 as it's trying to pull back a little bit. I'm not going to change what I think here. And it didn't seem like it was strong. And it's 1.5 versus 3. So it makes sense why it's not doing that. But remember, relative strength can get made up. So like Meta, if it wants to go, all has to take is, a hedge fund or somebody to say, what? This is out of whack. And the next thing you know, this thing starts rocking to the north side. So Twitter. So Meta right now, a very, very good trade. I was going to just do something mean. I was going to say Twitter's open, but it's not open. And
it's not going to
yeah, I'm going to make a poll here. When do you think Twitter will open? Before or after close here today? So head over to my Twitter account. I'm going to do that right now, and we'll put a poll up. Do you think it's going to open before or after or not? I guess the question is going to be, is it going to be open up before close? That's it. So we'll see. Will it open up today is going to be the question on the poll right here. Yeah, I'll figure
not to sway anybody, but I feel like that's going to be 95% no.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, you feel like that's the case. What is to the upside? Well, a lot's to the upside. Coinbase is at the high of the day, 25 cents away from the high of the day, to be a little bit more precise about that. But this is the exact channel. So we waited for Tesla this morning to get to that 56 level. We waited for Coinbase to get to 73. Those were the two I said. If it got to those prices, that's where I wanted to short it. So it's not about being stubborn about it or you're going against the market or going against the trend. But there are levels where when it goes that far, you are looking for the retracement trade somewhere because you've been waiting around for these levels to come into play. Now, this is the second time it's going through, not the first. So if it does, look at that, more data missing. But if it does make any kind of a curl here, I will look to put the short on with the stop at the high. It's 73.47, so 50s or 55, somewhere in that range. Never like having to stop pretty much exactly at that high. Give it a couple of pennies. Coinbase has a 4 or 5 cent spread, so sometimes you give it about that much more room off of your stop level. But I need to see it start to turn first. And as we are getting into that upside, NVIDIA here did make that turn. What do I have to hit enter? There we go, enter twice. It made that turn. It broke out of the range. Now I'm looking for longs. I'll probably dip into VWAP here. This is a clear signal. We're probably trying to head back into those highs. We're not even in the power hour yet, so there is a lot of time for these moves to continue to go. I'll check back in on your Topses of the world. AMC still holding around that high, nothing too crazy. Bed Bath & Beyond making a bit of a lower high as well. And Tesla, which we started on with the trade of the day, did break, like I said, it broke that 48, relatively tight stop. It's on the march toward 50 here. So that 50 level is going to be the next one. It might be a little bit different in that there might be still some sellers that want to take advantage of some moves back in. It feels like it's already bounced $6 or $7 from the highs, from the lows when that Twitter news happened. I guess it's Twitter, Elon news happened. I still think it has some chance to roll over. Obviously, it's relatively weak. That's going to go without saying. And as far as your RCLs and your CCLs of the world, I think the best way to think about it is if you're long this, it's not really giving you much of a reason to get out yet. I've been out of this for a while in the long. So up here, I'm not buying up at 15%. I think it needs to start selling off before you even start considering going into a short here because these are freight trains going to the upside at this point. AMC's starting to come back down. If it gets some momentum, I actually might look to be adding to this if I can around this $8 level.
Yeah, we just got another piece out there on Twitter. So on Twitter, I just put the poll up. That's what I'm thinking about there.
It happens.
Okay, it is working. So we already have 40 votes on that right now. Yeah, it's 30. So here it is right here. The poll is now out. We'll see if we can get a few hundred votes on this. Please hit the like button, of course, on our stream here today as well. But here it is right here. Will Twitter open today? And I just put 4 p.m. Like, could open after market, but that's, you know, not the point. And again, it probably won't open too close to 4 anyways. So realistically, we have about an hour to go, if not a little less than that, before the market's going to open. So we'll see here. Will it open today or not? If I just hit a quick refresh, we'll see how many votes are on that thing now. 45 votes, 70, so 70-30 right now on the poll for. You know, it's funny, we have a Twitter poll up on Twitter. So you got to go
That's why you had Twitter on the brain.
Check that one up. Yeah, that's why, yeah. All right, so we're just looking at getting out here. Ooh, that's come down to 60 now. I was going to get out of this Amazon trade. It's $2 in the money if we did take this level out. But now that I'm looking at this, I should probably go short right here instead. The only problem is short Amazon, long Meta, like, it's all good, and I'm fine to do that, and I'm comfortable with it. It's just, you know, well, I guess, you know what, I'm getting out of some of this Meta as Meta's ripping to the upside. I guess both could win. I mean, I guess that is also true. I'm going to cancel that Netflix trade, by the way. Just a little bit of, well, I mean, why not just go short right now? Yeah, I'm going to cancel that Netflix trade right here, breaking back down to that downside. And I'm actually going to engage, I think, in a short now if we can get it on this. We have 239 right there. Looks pretty good for me on this Netflix, although we know Netflix can get going. And there was, what, the trade desk there? Brendan brought that story to us, that they were talking a little bit about Netflix there. So I'm a little bit nervous about whatever the hell that is. I know what they are, but I just mean, like, what are they talking about? So we'll get out. So there we go. We'll short right now. Okay, we just got them. So we just got the fill there short. We're going to respect that 239. It won't be a big hit. I mean, we'll obviously be making more money here on this Meta long if the market wants to rip up to the upside. But let's try this Netflix against 239. We've seen it a couple times here and then dipped back. The only problem is the only dip we got was roughly to 50s right there, and we just shorted 70s. So our average price right now on Netflix is 60. So I'd like to see it at least get back down here to 20 or so. Let's put a bid there, man. If we get a bid at 20, we'll take it. Then if we're lucky enough to have this thing fall, then so be it on that name. And then again, I'm just going to put another offer out, get some, there we go, we'll take it out again there as we drop down some money for our Meta call off those bottoms as well. So far so good on some of these takes. Whether or not Amazon works or not, we'll have to see if the stars align on this one. If the market rips, the market rips, but we're going to have to wait for Netflix to see what we do.
If the market rips, probably it's going to be at least helped by Apple. It's going to be hard to see because I can't get rid of that one wick. But 146 and about a quarter here, the morning highs. That's where we couldn't get anything past on the longs this morning. But 146 and a quarter, about 17 cents away. I did get into Coinbase, 73.31. So you can see the high of the day here. It's risking about 30 cents on the trade. Last time we got well past VWAP. And then AMC starting to make a little bit of a pullback. As I said, it got back to, it made another double top there. So we'll stop out on the first short, rejected it. We worked into the second short, wait for it to come down, add to the position once it rejected that $8 again. So I'm in the short. I got bids all the way down to that 775. As that starts to come in, I don't know if this is pulling back, but I just sort of presume that Bed Bath & Beyond is kind of pulling back as well. You can see that happen time and time again as they tend to move a little bit in concert. Maybe not that much of a pullback on Bed Bath & Beyond. I didn't check GameStop because usually I feel like this hasn't really been doing much of anything lately. So I mean, maybe I'll be wrong about it. Yeah, I'll be wrong about it. It's up 9% today. So but it's also starting to pull back. When that high just got made over there in AMC, it also pulled back there. So into the coin, I'm still in Roblox, which is on the New York, and I do this like 9 times out of 10 I do this on Roblox. It rejected wick high at 39. I'm going to throw some bids because I wasn't even bidding down in front of VWAP. We'll make sure we can get some bids out on that. But as long as we maintain sort of beneath these highs, like you see the market screaming toward the top there, anything that's showing me rejections already at the high and pulling back, then I want to be in it. And then if the market breaks out, then you can start maybe thinking about chasing some longs. Brendo?
With this move in oil we've had today, some of these little energy companies popped up about midday. This one's still going. This is Peggy. This is also a clean energy aspect to this company as well, but just took out day highs there on a volume spike, guys, for PGY.
Okay, PGY, yeah. PGY?
I thought that was
Why?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
PEG.
okay, 'cause
I was gonna say
PGY
because
is-
we have that Pagaya was
Pagaya,
another one of
yeah.
those technology companies that was going ham not too long
Hard as a-
ago. So the market falling down here, and of course we re-engage in the Microsoft short. So now we're short right there. We just shorted it at 249. Let's see if that can work. We're going to use 249.15 or so as our out right there. So we're already almost at that 1-to-1 ratio for Microsoft. Let's see if it can work to the downside. Unfortunately, though, one thing that isn't going down is we averaged into our Netflix trade, and although the market tried to make a move down here, Netflix does not, and it looks like it does want to take down that 239. That wick right there, whether or not it's real or not, goes to 238.95. So I think we're getting pretty close to maybe getting topped out here on Netflix, especially if that wick was real. I just don't know if it was. I wasn't watching it, but here it comes. It looks like we're going to try to take down 239. So again, fine. It's funny because this is going up. Meanwhile, the long that I have, Meta, has just made a move back down. So we're going to have to get out of Meta soon. Although we're already, honestly, Meta, what we have left right now is 20% of our position. So like that's the honest truth, and that's what we have left. So we're able to get some out on the upside as this ripped. You guys know how skeptical I was about this position to begin with. So there it is. So unfortunately, Netflix does come out there. I don't know what, I guess I have too many shares. We'll get it out. I don't know what just caused that move up there in Netflix as the market's coming down. So like I said, that was probably risky. I sort of put the writing on the wall there when I said, like, I'm not too sure about what Trade Desk is talking about. But again, that was a while ago, so maybe nothing. That could have just been a break through 239. So we'll get that out. And again, that last one, that's so short at 70, out at 10. So that's a 40-cent hit there on Netflix. But again, you got to be responsible with your share size, right? And understand how much you have at what level and why. So that's why it's important to trade your own book and don't necessarily follow us exactly. All right, Meta's there. Microsoft's come back in now a little bit. Okay, this is a good, actually, I didn't realize how much Microsoft had come in. This is a good level for me to get something out. We'll see if it can get back into the low 70s again. We just missed that. Ooh, that went to 72 there. Ugh, that sucks. All right, so we'll see about that. But meanwhile, there it goes right back up to the upside. Meta just retested that 50 level and now right back into 70. So we got to find some levels, man. Nike's up 4%. You said GameStop's not moving. It's not, considering
It's at the high. But
I was going to say, but a lot of the names, the wild names, are up like 10%.
They are up much.
DraftKings up 10%.
AMC's up 15. It was more that AMC made a double top and rejected and started coming back in, and I didn't think that the pullback on the weaker two names, to me, should have been deeper. Like if AMC, which is stronger, makes this kind of a pullback, which I'm now out half of it, by the way, so we'll do that for it. It's just more about like an analyzing here. Like I would have, okay, now it makes a move down. Like it's going to be, yeah, it makes a little more sense here. If GameStop was lagging and doing less volume and kind of getting pulled up on sympathy and AMC is a stronger one, then when that makes a double top, this should fall back into VWAP like right quick. And if it had broken out, maybe you'd go into a lagger to chase it, but there goes Bed Bath & Beyond coming back in. So I always, when it comes to the squeeze or the meme stuff, whatever you want to call them, when they're following, when one of them or two of them are following a leader, like AMC is a leader today, then you want to you have to watch AMC if you're trading Bed Bath & Beyond, because any significant turn that signals a top, well, you're just going to fall apart on these because they didn't have the volume to begin with. They were just kind of following the crowd there. So I'm still in these three shorts as we test these highs. I didn't actually get the flip long on NVIDIA, and at this point, I mean, I guess I'm not going to chase it. It's up at those highs as the market gets to the high as well. Yeah. So it's about to test the top, which means, I'm going to have my risk in the shorts at these highs. I don't want to be buying the top of the market at 302. So we'll see. Either we break the tops and we're gonzo, or we can find our way into some dip buys and some of those longs. If you're watching that tops, it rejected $6 again. The spread and liquidity on this is subpar. So I don't want to be trading it. It does for 13 million shares. It's not that liquid, and you're just going to get whipped around here. So some of these, when it does this, you're better off like dip buying in consolidations, having tight stops, and trying to go for the ride. Not really my style up here on top, so I'm going to stay away from this one.
All right, we'll take it again. Right now, we'll do a little bit of money dropping down here. This is a pretty good day today. Unfortunately, I know I have 350 fills today, 350 trades. It's way too many. But, again, there it is. So come on, Microsoft. We'll see if this one wants to bleed to the downside. We just did, guys, take out another piece there at 60 for Meta as it went all the way back up to its level there. Now you're going to fall down Netflix. You're hilarious. But there goes Meta right now trying to take down those bottoms. We still have, again, now we're even lighter lighter on Meta. Now we have 10% left as we did take that piece out right there. So far so good, man. Because you know what? We are long at 35 and we just got out at 60. So I was like, you know what? This is still 25 cents in the money. So let's see if it holds it now. Now we have a 10-cent risk back down to the downside here for Meta. We'll see if that can work. Microsoft right now spinning the cash through as well. There's that 249 short, now in the money 40 cents on Microsoft to the downside. So that's looking like it wants to make some money for us here as well. So let's see where it goes to from here. I don't mind getting another piece out on Softy because we're right sort of at some of these levels. Let's bid some 44s here. Just wick down there. That was 42 it got to. The 50 period's 41. We'll see if we can get lucky enough to have one more little spike down here on Microsoft to pick us up, and then we'll see about holding the rest. And by the rest means about a third of what we had again from up there. So out a third, we'll take another third out right now, and if we're lucky enough to get this back down near 248, let's go. Come on. It was just 45 on the bid. Remember, just because what's on the bid doesn't mean that that's like what you're going to get, right? There's not that much liquidity here in these markets. You need to move down to wipe out the level in order to get your fill. Just because you're sitting there doesn't see, like you're not going to get it, right? When they see, there it goes. It'll wipe levels out. So you got to be careful with all of that. Let's just do a quick check back here on the poll. Will Twitter open up today? Still 150 votes through. We'll see. It's still 80-20 right now on the Twitter machine. So head over there if you do have an account. Bears vs. Bulls can post that in the chat. Come on, Microsoft. You can do it. Oh, we just got out of Meta. So Meta did take that move to the downside. That's fine. Again, that was a good trade for us. We're up on Meta today. We're up pretty good on Meta, that's for sure. And there it is. Yes, sir. So there's the money. It's not flying out. It's just we can't control it. Let's see if now Microsoft can make that final push down to the downside. There's a 50 cent win right there. What's up, Neil?
Well, I was going to say, like, we just rejected 3,800 again. Just quickly on the futures here, we just rejected 3,800 again. This is what we're looking for the shorts. If you're wondering why going counter trend, I just got some Roblox out. AMC continues to fall. I have no idea why 20% of the people think it's going to open up Twitter before the end of the day, but I could be wrong. It'd be fun if it opens up, I suppose. Brendo?
Both Snowflake, and Shopify moving down here, guys. There's a report from CNBC. Michael Burry out with a negative note on both this one, Snow, and Shopify, as I said, moving lower.
Oh, Michael Burry.
Someone needs to cover them short.
So what is he going to do? Delete his Twitter account now? But if he went actually on CNBC there, that would be interesting. I doubt it.
Come on this show, man.
We'll see. We'll see.
Come up in here, bro.
Yeah, man. Tweet at him, bro.
Love to talk to him. Did he make a public comment? Was there?
I don't see. I mean, Brendan, we can go back.
Oh, okay. So he didn't.
CNBC reporting, so I don't know if he was actually. I don't know if he was on CNBC or not, but we'll find out more about that. But okay, we can look at Snowflake. I like Snowflake, and I mean the thing is that I don't know. It's big data. I think it's. You
got a cool model.
We've looked at this before. I really like it. I was long Snowflake. We had some great trades on this name in our own account, but I don't know. I wonder what the thesis is behind the shorting or the. I don't even know if it was a short or if he's getting out. I don't know, but we'll see here. Snowflake. It seems to be hold my beer, Mr. Burry, because it's not doing jack all on that report. So we'll wait to see if there is anything behind there. And the other one he came up with was Shopify. My only thing I would think is that just a dramatic move that some of these names have had over the last couple of days, especially the last 2 days. Yeah, Shopify, that's right, it had the split. So there it is right there. Shopify bottom 26. Nice move to 31. So again, just watch out for these talking heads, man. I mean, there's not too many shows that will actually show you their positions and what they're trading other than what we're doing right here, right now for you. Looks like we should have continued that short. And of course, we shorted Netflix, which now is fine, but Netflix is only in the money 50 cents off that 239. So whatever. But we should have gone back into Amazon. Remember when we were like close to getting stopped out, we were talking about there at this 60 level, but now you're all the way down. It's just faded out 50 cents from those levels. You could get another break right now on that name. So I'd watch out, man. The market is pulling back. You're still up an amazing 3% today.
Yeah, it's still a great day. Like, that's the thing. Like, you'll see us in the shorts doing this as if the market's not up 3%. I'm going to take profit on the way in. Coin just broke 73. I got some out there. AMC, which I'm not ignoring it, but as it slides further down, I just got filled to 775. So I'm now holding on to like 20% for VWAP. So both those coming in addition to Roblox as well there, Brendo.
So Elon Musk has filed a 13D with the SEC, which is essentially confirmation, guys, that he is willing to go ahead with this deal. So no change as far as any halts are concerned right now, but that just coming through again. Elon Musk filing an amended 13D again with the SEC to proceed with this deal.
Okay, so I mean, if that's out, then it's at least possible. I mean, I was saying before, there's 0% chance it would open back up. It's non-zero for sure after that dissemination. But
I don't know.
It still remains to be seen.
Does that matter?
I tend to think it's still probably going to open. I still think it might not open today, but yeah, that further confirmation. So, and I forget who gave us that super chat. So apologies there, but yeah, you're going to be looking pretty good.
Oh, on that chat was Brian.
It was Brian. If you're long, I mean, that's pretty much exactly what you wanted.
I'd say it's a wrap.
That's
Elon Musk parties intend to proceed.
That's
to closing
exactly
of
what you wanted to hear. Exactly.
Oh, there it is. Contemplated by April 25th. That's an old one. 2020. So that's when they agreed. Was it all the way back in April when they discussed this the first time? April, May, June, July. Let me check the chart out here for Twitter on the daily chart. That might be right. It seems like so long ago. Yes, right there. So that's the date they're talking about right there. Yeah. So it basically just says that Elon Musk files the SEC files SEC filing on Twitter that he is going to complete the closing due to the agreement that he met on April 25th. So yeah, that looks like that, and on that date, in and around those dates, we did go up to that $54. So there it is, man. Looks like Twitter, and congratulations to all of y'all out there with Twitter shares, and myself, and anybody that's been holding this name. And if you're short it, like I said, it looks like, I would hope anyways, that it does open up for us at some point and you're able to get out of that. And if not, I mean, it's a defined loss at this point if it doesn't open. But if it does open, then what I was talking about before,
get it out, that's great.
You take the time value of money and you figure that all out. And then what Neil was saying too is you may get some pushback from some of the lawmakers, so maybe it does get delayed a little bit. Just because we sign an agreement doesn't mean that, you know, the government stamps that.
And that's only because certain people had, while this was looking a little bit more likely back in the day, going into like the vote, there were some, you know,
it's that whole free speech thing. We'll see if they can protect that or not.
Yeah, and that's what it comes down to. I'm not saying that should happen or is going to for sure. I did just reload Coinbase because it came into 73. We got that fill as it broke, and then it came back to the high. So I'm going to rinse and repeat. As long as we're off these highs in the market, which are now 15 points below 38, then anything off resistance I want to keep going at here. So the free are working, and Brendan's doing overtime over there at the big desk. What's up there, buddy?
More, guys, minute by minute here. So this is contingent upon the trial being adjourned because of course, and then notice of admission of liability without waiver. So they're just saying they're going to scrub all of the accusations, everything off the table, and things will proceed as they were before. So Elon basically running with his tail between his legs, it would appear.
Yeah, I mean, or is he? I mean, he's getting the deal that he initially proposed. Unfortunately, he's going to have to pay probably, I don't want to guess, a couple $100 million in legal fees probably. That would have been nice to help, you know, the world situation out. Instead of just donating it to lawyers, he could have done more with that, but that's his money, not mine. We just did take another win there on Tesla. I mean, I just went short on that name with all this news. I mean, when it first hit that there was a possible deal or whatever for Tesla, for Twitter, Tesla did knock down about $10 there from 56 to 46. So now that maybe there is something more in stone, let's see how Tesla, I keep confusing the two, I'll probably do that for a while. Let's see how Tesla shareholders deal with this situation now with Elon Musk. So let's see. I mean, whether or not he comes out, the only risk I could think to Tesla would be that he says, yeah, I need to sell more. Like, that could be possible. I don't know. So we'll just trade it. We have our out there. That 248 is pretty good. I've already put that stop in there. So if we do break through 248, we will get out. And I do have another average in case we do get close to that. But let's just see if we do get a knock down here. We just got that fill. That fill on Tesla was a great one. Actually, now that I'm looking at where the stock is right now, we got 246.72. So that came right down and filled us right there, right into that spot. So, I mean, we were kind of waiting there for it. So again, it's just so true. Like when I'm sitting there waiting for fills, they come no problem. It's the fact of when I push my order in there, it sees like an active order and runs away from it. You guys have probably read a lot of books about that. You know, the Flash Crash, Flash Boys, sorry, is a great one to watch or to read if you're interested in that kind of market talk right there. All right, now Tesla's coming back up, so we're gonna have to deal with this. Like I said, I do want to, it's not, is it really? I don't know, we're gonna put another order near 70, just to see if it does rip up to that level. We'll take more short and then take about that risk up to 248. If 248 breaks, we can get out. But we just did take, again, about a 60-cent win on a third of it. We'll try to get that level back right now and then see about it coming back to the downside, as I'm pretty focused on what Tesla's gonna do right now, back up to 248. So that's a look. Microsoft is now, I mean, fire off the cannon right now. This Microsoft trade is a hot fire trade, man. We just put this on right now for you. Like, this was just put on. Now it's $1 in the money. So, like, if you're watching our show, man, hit the like button. Like, some of these trades, we got Meta was a great trade. This Microsoft, we just put that on. That's now $1 in the money and still going lower. The only trade it looks like we might lose on here again is
short all the pops.
Yeah,
come on, man.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to short
I'm going
the pops.
back in.
Well, yeah,
not yet, but
I'm in right now, and we're going to get stopped out probably here. As there it is, man. It's so funny that my only red name, or I guess, are we? Yeah, it looks like. Well, I mean, we have to deal with that Apple trade still. But would be this Tesla today, when all we wanted to do, when I have 4 shorts up here at 256, and now it's at 248. So yeah, my reads I think have been fine. Timing, definitely the issue, and then some of these outs. I mean, we took profit on these, but it just kept on ripping upside there. And anyways, let's wait to see now what happens. I don't want to give this more room. I just don't want to lose, that's all. If it rips to the upside, we'll take our pain and get out of that, and the pain is pretty minimal. So we'll wait for that. Here it goes, man. It's going to take this out. People love, I don't know why I keep doing this, man. People love Tesla. There it goes. Watch, it runs my stop, and now we'll probably tank. So we can stay out there of this name, as it looks like it wants to try to go back up. Yeah, there it is. Contingent on receipt of proceeds of debt financing. So I know Brendan's dropping all this news to us. I'll just repeat that again there. So yeah, contingent on receipt of proceeds of the debt. So I don't know. I guess that's Tesla. I don't know. Did he do a share offering? I'm not sure. We'll see what's going to happen now with Tesla as it's moving all the way back up to the upside.
Yeah, it's bouncing here. It hasn't really gone past 249.5 or so since that Twitter thing happened. So until it breaks that, I just want to be short beneath that, but maybe tighter to that 250 as we can get. I've rinsed and repeated coin twice. It continues to work. And hit some more slap shots because it is hockey season starting to come in, basketball as well. But I'm not going to reload another time. I just feel like if we make another big test, this is now 3 big tests coming at the high Coinbase. Third time is not always a charm when you're shorting off a level like this. Either it falls from here or it's not going to at all. Roblox already got that filled to the downside. AMC's catching a bit of a bid here as well. So the 3 shorts did work out. Maybe starting to come back into the upside. Here's at least one where, man, it could come all the way back into 795, and I'm still holding out for another push down into VWAP for the rest of these shares. It just feels like it's still good. After a pullback like that, I think you're going into the close. You're going to get some real profit takers. But this is what I meant about Tesla. Since that news came, you've had this lower high, about 249.5. When things settle down, this is where we've managed to hold. And each time it gets up here, it doesn't quite break it. So 249.26 is that current high, or 25. That's what I want to play off of. It is now screaming back into the upside. So we're going to get that put to the test pretty much in the next few seconds if it gets to 49s here.
Yeah, I mean, we got out. I mean, I'm glad we got out of that one, or we would have been really dug in a little bit there for that. But 249 is another level right there, 249.20. So, yeah, you know what? We can try that just in case we are a little light on. There we go. We get the 69ers right there. Yes, he looks like.
Right there,
thank God we were able to get that fill right there. And
Never go passive on Tesla, man.
No. I mean, that time I did, but you're 100% right. I was right at the level. So that's the other thing. I've talked about that on some of these stocks, man. It's like you need to be sitting there. If you're with the way, it's no problem. You get filled, right? Like if I put a bid out right now as Tesla's cranking to the low side, you'll probably get that fill. But don't try to get like short 33s. You're going to want to offer into that price is what Neil was meaning by that. But let's just wait to see. That's a high there. I'm not going to wait for 250 because, again, this is just going to move the way it wants to. That's 249.30 right there. So we'll average in again near 249. But so far, so good on that repunch back down. Remember how much we lost? We lost like, what, 40 cents? So right now, we were just in the money 40 cents. And that's my problem. When stocks dance like this, I got to get more aggressive and get out when I'm right. Because there goes Tesla right back up. Right back up to the upside.
Well,
this stock is frustration abound for me today, guys. Yeah, Tesla, yeah, not a great one. We keep on, kind of stepping on our own toes here on this stock.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't get it before. And of course, like, that's the thing. If you get it the first time right in front of 49s, then you get that move. But I didn't. Now I'm into it. I have another offer that's closer to 49 even because I got 77s here. I have one that's like at 89. So we'll see if we can get that fill as well. And then we'll give it to that quarters we mentioned. But I do want to come to RCL just very quickly. Remember I said be careful with RCL? Well, it's a little different now. Like, it made this wick top, 43.50, and now it's trying to retest some of these highs. So, and you keep seeing the same theme again, like from a risk to reward standpoint, kind of just wanting to structure a trade where you have a defined out, not really chase the top here, and then just look for a bit of a pullback. This is what happens when essentially the market's been testing the same high since, oh yeah, I checked that, since this morning. At the open, we were testing 3,800. We're still testing 3,800 on the ES. So anything that can't break out of the top here, risk to reward, sometimes the ones that are the highest are going to give you the most appealing opportunities. So I just jumped into RCL. I could look at CCL for a similar trade, but it feels like RCL's even more overextended in some ways. That's why I'm favoring it. I was trading CCL earlier for the longs. RCL off the highs here. If it breaks the top, I'm out. I'm not even getting cute about this. It's too strong. I'm not giving it an extra few cents or anything. Breaks the high, I'm gone.
Yeah, so I was just waiting at 40 there. It stopped at 45 for Tesla. Like, this is, honestly, it does not want to give me any winners on here today. And if it does, it's making me take like 20 cents. Let's just see. Come on, Tesla. I want this story. Obviously, it's in the mainstream right now. But all 11 sectors are positive. I just saw on some random station. Okay, here we go, all the way to the downside right now. Hopefully we can get this. Now we're waiting in the teens. We just got that 45 print, I believe. Where did I sit at? I sat at 46 that time. Smart me, but now it's all the way down. We'll wait to see where we go on that one. It's like SM Marty. I am so smart. Yeah, no, he doesn't use the A.
No, but
SMRT.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's
Homer.
It's Homer.
I haven't watched The Simpsons in so long.
Yeah, so right there, we'll see there if it does want to come back in. I got to rewatch some of those.
You know what? Actually,
I was looking for South Park. I haven't seen like the last 2 seasons of South Park, man, and it's because it's on Paramount Plus, and I don't think we get that here in Canada. Let alone, I'm not subscribing to any more. Like, I already have pretty much all of the stuff other than
I don't know what
Peacock
I need to be able to see.
Plus.
What do we need to own? Like, what do I have to pay for to get South Park in Canada? I don't even know the answer to that question. But you know what pissed me off?
That's the key.
Well, I should say, you know what really grinds my gears? The Rolling Stone came out with the top whatever list of shows that were out there. And I was not happy with where The Wire was. And then The Watchmen was ahead of, like, Game of Thrones.
What is this list?
Like,
how recent
Simpsons, Wayner sent it to me, like, last week. So I feel like it was recent. But, like, The Simpsons was, like, 1 or 2.
Yes.
But The Watchmen was ahead of Game of Thrones.
The Watchmen?
End of story. Yeah, exactly. You don't even know what I'm talking about.
I do know what you're talking about. I know it's
a
comic, and I know everything. I know about The Watchmen because I know you like it. But
I'm a huge fan.
Right, but
I
the
own
show is ahead
novel.
of. You said how does South Park? Or what was it ahead of?
Game of Thrones.
Oh, Game of Thrones. I didn't watch one episode of Game of Thrones.
Rolling Stone, come on.
But how could they? That almost seems like that's a joke. I mean, that was the most watched show of all time.
Like, if that can't make, I don't think it made even the top 20.
I want to see that article.
You can't make the top 20.
Holy shit, Tesla right now.
Let's go.
Starting to get to the downside right here.
We
are really getting excited. Okay, mamma mia. Pineapples are not on that pizza. You are starting to go to the downside right now for Tesla. So I don't know, Elon, pineapple or no pineapple? You're getting pineapple right now.
He's a no pineapple guy.
You think he's a no pineapple guy?
You better believe
he might not even be a pizza guy. I don't know what's going on with that guy.
Oh, he'll eat pizza.
247 and change right now coming through for that. So we're going to wait to see. I'm looking at some levels. That level right there of 247, I think I got to sit there and just put a bid at least. So let's do that. That sucks because it just went down.
I took this level here because
Which one?
This 247.50. This is actually where I was short earlier. Now it's got a bit of a lower high. But I also didn't get everything. I'm still on the offer in front of 249. I didn't even get the short that I wanted. So I'll scalp out of it and go back and rinse and repeat this again. But as that worked, it's what happens. RCL is a bit of a different beast, man. RCL is on one today. It's about to test that high today, right back up to the top. The market is pulling back in, so I still want to sit on these shorts. We got 5 minutes or 7 minutes until we get the early look on the imbalances. Maybe it matters, maybe it doesn't. It'll be interesting to see if it is a downside one on another big update here. So the market is up big time the last couple of days. That's why a sell and bounce would be pretty juicy if we do get it. Like I said, I'm not reloading Coinbase. It is rolling over a third time. I'm still sitting down here in front of VWAP for a bigger move if we do get a flush. And same thing with Roblox. I've already scalped some out. Now I'm looking for the bigger flush. Well, it's at VWAP, but I've already, multiple times, I've taken this out at 38.50 when I've had to short off 39. I'm looking for this to break down at some point. If it doesn't, if the market doesn't break the highs, I just feel like at some point we should be selling off a little bit more.
All right. All right, so let's just Watchmen getting a lot of love, by the way.
Whoa! It's a great show. I loved it. The comic is it is the single greatest graphic novel
just questioning the
I've
rank.
ever read. The ranking is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man.
I got
Like
that.
you can't rank it. It was ahead of like MASH or like legendary shows it was ahead of. And don't get me wrong, it's a good show. But just don't get me started when it comes to some of these like lists. Like I'm a movie TV guy, even though I don't watch a lot, because when you have kids, you can't watch shit when you have kids anymore. You know how that goes, Sean.
Yep. Well, no.
Well, I mean,
we watch. I mean, as long as the swearing is not like
as I just
crazy
swore.
profound, then for
My
sure, we watch it with them. But they're 8 and 10. I mean, 8 is questionable, but 10-year-old, I mean, he's in grade 5. So I mean, for me, it's fine. All right, just looking here to make sure that I have all my script orders set up properly. Microsoft, yes, I don't even need that anymore. That's just down $1. But again, let's not get too cocky here, because if some of these trades start to come back for us, like we just missed out. I mean, that just went right down to this level again, right into here. So do we still want to hold this? Yes, we do. But at the same time, I don't. This market could jump again. Like it's fine. We're short, and they're all real good trades right now.
Yeah, not RCL. RCL sucks.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I wasn't.
I got RCL. It sucks.
You got RCL. Okay, that sucks. But right now, Tesla's 70 cents, Microsoft $1.10, Amazon $2.25. We're all short. We're all in the money right now. So all one big family on the short side, fun. But at the same time, it could blow back up to the upside here as well. So I feel like watching Microsoft at this 248.20 area makes a little bit of sense. We did get back there a little bit. It's not really worth giving it all back. But again, we're under the 50 period. I feel like this Elon news, with Twitter isn't really a market mover or anything to begin with. We're already on Tesla, so I feel like that's the right trade. There's absolutely nothing, if you're just joining us right now for the first time, there's nothing we can do about Twitter. It's simply put not open.
No.
It doesn't, I mean, at this point, the poll, it's already 3:30. I feel like it could get open now, though, because we have that little piece of news. I guess I got to change
Wouldn't
this.
that be dirty, though?
Maybe I can get Fahad or somebody, or I'm gonna message
351.
Liz. Yeah, I want this to be 350. We'll get that in a minute. But here's the poll right now. 222 votes. That's interesting number. But right now it's 80-20. So I think like if I could vote,
I mean, at this point, it's kind of skewed.
I was trying to vote no just to make it. I was trying to vote yes there, but it screwed up. I was going to try to skew the poll by 1 vote. But right now, Twitter closed there at 47.90 on a nice move back to the upside. Whoever got into there on some of these bids was nice, man.
A couple guys are long here, apparently.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's going to suck. That's not going to suck because it's going to open tomorrow and they're going to get $3. So that's good. But we'll see what happens right now with Twitter. Looks like it's going to open tomorrow, Brendo. My call would be like 52.50, something like that. And
that sounds reasonable.
And then we'll see what the closing date is. What's up, Brendan?
Confirmation, guys. Deal is done. Twitter intends to close the deal. Official statement just coming through from Twitter here. Received a letter from Musk. Parties they have filed with the SEC spokesperson. The intention is the company is to close the transaction at 54.20 as per the original terms. Done deal. So yeah, probably not going to open today.
Now that I think about it. So I was sort of just saying this to Sean, and I don't know how much this would have worked, but as I get stopped, so the other 2 shorts are working, but this just stopped out here. RCL, you can see it made a fresh high. But as Twitter's been going, and I'm not saying we'll ever get another situation like this, but if we do, I kind of have an idea what I want. ever since it made that recent bomb, got back up to the 15, was barcoding off this 41. If you were just constantly consolidation break stop long on this thing, then in theory, every single time it broke, and if you look at the 15, like every single time it broke, like you were getting into a long, okay, maybe you risk about 50 cents here, maybe you scalp some out, you get into a long each time it does one of those. It hasn't been disastrous. Like you never really lost more than 50 cents, and sometimes if you scalped some, you could have just got some out for some profit, put a stop in there, and then let the rest ride. It hasn't really been that bad of a proposition as long as you're waiting for a consolidation break to just stop, go long. Obviously, this is hindsight 2020 because the last time you did that, if you got it today, then you just make the $8 or $9. But it feels like it was that kind of an opportunity, but who knows if we'll ever see anything again like this. I just know that if I do, I'll be going over and watching. I remember the Tiffany deal. There were some unbelievable opportunities when Tiffany was going back and forth with the LVMH thing. And I feel like there might have been more that could have been done, at least myself anyways, trying to trade some Twitter. And I barely traded this thing while it was in that limbo. Tesla, I'm still waiting for this. Maybe we get it. See, it did come back up here, at least according to this wick, 248, 70 something.
Yeah,
I'm sitting,
I think that's probably right.
I mean, I'm on the offer, 73. I didn't really get it, but I'm still trying to get this short, and I guess I didn't pick it up. I'll have to be more aggressive next. If it comes up, if it even comes up here again, I got to be a little bit more aggressive.
Oh, you had an offer through that wick? Oh,
No, it was just shy. I think it went to 71, 72, and I was at 73.
Okay. Oh, that sucks if that's true. All right, so yeah, I hate missing level by a penny. We are, especially on a name like
Maybe
Tesla.
I shouldn't use me, man.
That's the worst. It doesn't even matter the gateway, man.
No, I
Sometimes
know.
these names will just
pay for the fill.
They
Right?
just won't fill you. But okay, all right, let's just look here. So I like the long on AMD now. I am thinking about switching this up a little bit here. As this market goes, I mean, we're short everything, and we talked about some, where we have some of our outs here. For Microsoft, again, we have a little strange wick there. I don't think that happened, but I'm gonna try to respect this 248.20, so I'm gonna put that order out right now. MSFT, I don't have Netflix anymore, do I? No, I should. All right, so that's 240, what did I say, 248.20-ish. So we'll put a stop out there for Microsoft. And again, like this is what we do, man. We just put the stop orders out. We sit back and relax and see if that does hit. Obviously, that's not our strategy. That's just where we're going to get out. If it breaks back above there, we do have the short. Now we're starting. Okay, now we're starting to print out again. I'm waiting for 247, and I don't care. I'm going to wait for that level to come through. Actually, as soon as I say that, okay, get my Tesla order canceled. All right, that's strange. Right, I'm going to put a 247.40 back in there. I said I was going to wait for 247 flat, but I just see that wick down there only went to 23, so 30 more pennies down. Hey, look, man, if we could take $1.50 on this and then leave half of it for the way down, let's just do that. I mean, maybe Tesla wants to test some of these bottoms here. I don't know enough about what that debt financing means there. So I'm going to wait to see on that. I don't know if something has to clear, and I don't know if he's talking about Twitter debt. I don't know if he's talking about his own debt or what right there, but I know that he's very highly levered, of course, to the value here of Tesla. So, all right, I'm at 41. So let's see here if we can get...
Ooh, 42 is a better number.
Let's hopefully it doesn't matter. We'll see where it's going to go. I don't know. I just picked 41 because I was looking at 40 and it went up a size. Don't tell me it printed 47s. Okay. Well, now we have to really wait for that to come down because now we're a little bit more upset.
It's trending down.
Let's go. Yeah. I think we'll get it. It's just one flush. I mean, let's not... Yeah. When we talk about that, it's more just for entertainment. Like, I don't necessarily think, that the stock stops 4 pennies before my order. I don't think anything like that, although it happens more often than not, it feels like. Let's see if we can get it back to the downside right now for Tesla and for, I was going to say and for Twitter, but that's not open. So, all right, that's that. And then the AMD, just a quick look here. I don't know, man. Let's see if this market wants to rip. I don't mind getting a 68 long if it does come through.
Speaking of the market, we did get an early look on the bounce, 135 million to buy. That's not going to change too much of what I'm thinking here, except for the fact that, I do want to put a trail in on Roblox. I don't have the top. I've only really been shorting beneath the 39 level, so it's really just been in the 80 to 85 range that I've shorted it. So if we don't really break VWAP here and get down to 38s, I want to make sure we not just take profit, but I'm not going to let this turn red. So it's about a break-even stop on this. Coinbase did come out. We didn't reload a third time. Clearly a good decision. This is I mean, it's taken out the high without the market going. I'm a bit skeptical of it. You're not seeing a lot of volume on the follow through there. You guys can't really see volume, so I'll do this. There you go. You're not seeing a ton of volume as this is taking the top count, as the market doesn't really want to take its high either. So chasing along here in Coinbase, I don't feel it. It was a good short the first time. It was not nearly as good before, but you got to pay yourself when it was in that consolidation. So it'll end up being my best stock today, mostly because I waited for the absolute price. Like, I was even more patient with Coinbase than I was with Tesla. And thank you, Shock Industry. He says, hey, flannel boys, Rumble analysis, please. I don't think my shirt is flannel, but I don't mind looking at Rumble. That being said, someone
Maybe
actually
checkered.
Someone called me out on this.
You should have said.
So no word of a lie. You shouldn't be superstitious, but I actually do wear this shirt once a week. And it's not that I've been tracking this kind of thing, but I actually have like my best days for whatever reason when I'm wearing this shirt. And my daughter likes it, so I try to wear it at least once a week. I can't wear it every single day unless I could get like 4 or 5 of the same shirt, but that would be ridiculous. Rumble, if my chart will load up in a second. Okay.
Yeah, it's plaid.
No, it is plaid. Rumble just broke up, and I don't know the cause of this volume spike. So to speculate on it, like, let's keep in mind, it's a Twitter thing, right? So the timing of when it made the move is pretty close to it. It's holding near the highs, but just remember, just because the Twitter deal is closing doesn't necessarily, like, I understand why it gets a sympathy bump here, but you got to keep in mind too that some of the appeal of what Elon is doing, to me, would take away from Rumble in some regards. So I can see a reason, now the rest of my chart wants to fill in there on the daily, like, I can see a reason why it just gets a sympathy bump and then starts fading off in this 1350 to 60 area where it had trouble previously. That would make some sense to me. I don't think it's such an obvious slam dunk that, oh yeah, so this is going to go through good things. Nah, man, if Elon's going to do the turnaround once he owns it and takes it private, then that in theory could just mean stronger competition for people that have believed in Rumble. So we'll see what happens there. I mean, it is now into resistance now that my chart loads up. And I think it's starting to reject it, as you can see, but not really pulling back that far because the market's strong ultimately.
Yeah, so
Charts.
I forget what I was going to say there. It doesn't happen too often. All right, so, it was Rumble. Yeah, so my logic would just be that, potentially there could be some sort of a, maybe a collaboration with Rumble and Twitter now, maybe. That would be like what I was thinking, because if Elon's going to be all about free speech, and then he knows that YouTube does block, certain things from happening. Obviously, I'm a big fan of YouTube, but maybe Rumble I could just see something there. But again, without throwing out, what's actually going to happen, I have no idea. But right there, we'll go belly dance a little bit right here, because there's the out that we're waiting for on Tesla. So we are getting back a little bit of our losses here on TSLA today, as it is starting to make that move back down. Good trade there, just respecting. And we didn't get the reload either. I mean, I was looking for that reload near 249. That's where we're short. So yeah, now it's coming back down to the downside. I'll still wait for it, because if we do take out 249, I can get out. But right now, I want to leave this one in a little bit just to see. So again, you guys take the trade if you want to. It's not like I had a reigning endorsement for Peloton yesterday or not. But yesterday I mentioned again, and I've been mentioning this for days. So it's not like, I was mentioning it at $8. So it doesn't really matter. It's up to 878. But yesterday there was some more news about Peloton again coming through. And so it was the Hilton Worldwide story. And then that made me think again that, hey, Peloton's at least trying stuff. They tried to get into Dick's before they pulled out. We've already said that. And then also they tried a deal, which I think is still on, with Amazon and with regarding delivery and things like that. So I feel like they're trying to turn this around, and it's just an activist away from this thing really being up huge. So watch out. It's a nice move up to 1750% now today, not the price. 17.5% is the right way to say that. And I would just say that I like the name. I think if you could buy it, again, down here, I don't think you buy anything today that we're up now 6 or 7% now in 2 days. But, you got to watch out for Peloton and some of these beleaguered names that do have, subscription model and reasons why people might want to take them down. We've already seen, 4 or 5 new mergers today alone, let alone all this talk of, more buyouts and so on and so forth. You know what? There comes good out, man. Good out on Tesla. Like, I wish I had that crystal ball. I would have got them all out and then just reloaded right now. But there's the out there for Tesla. Oh, something just came out for me. What was that? Softy. All right, so there goes Softy. Softy comes out as well that came out a minute ago. So that broke 20s and we're out there, Softy. So unlike Netflix, this one actually hits my stop and we wind up getting out. So now we turn our attention over to AMD. Do we still like that? That actually broke a little bit. Now, I'm going to cancel my AMD because the long probably should have been right there, 91, 92. I'm going to try to look to see what I was looking at and see if we still want that long. I don't think it's too late, but might be there. Let's see.
I ended up not canceling Tesla. It's actually, in my head, it was like a couple of minutes to 350, but it's only 338. But I did get some more shares out of AMC. You've consolidated off the 770 level. And the reason why I think it's making this move is you can see the big jump in volume when 770 broke out here. Like, they churned through a lot of sellers, and you have big buyers in there. So when it comes back to that price, it feels like that makes some sense if it doesn't want to get to VWAP unless we crack. I'll give it a chance to go back in. I'm not going to give it all the way to the high of the day. Like, I'll slap a stop at break even and see if we can't get down in there to VWAP. But I'm now out of most of it anyways. And it's a similar story with Roblox. It's trying to bounce off VWAP. It's not getting that far. The market is now 3 handles away from that 38. And we're still down at VWAP on Roblox. So if we reject the top again, I think I'm getting this 38 area to that downside. And I'm still on the offer to try Tesla another time. We're in the same range. Like, why not play it at least until 350? Give this bad boy a chance. I wouldn't write off that the imbalances. It's a buy right now, no change, 135 small buy. I don't think it'd be crazy after a couple of days of selling if it didn't end up coming out like a bit of a net sell there, just given how far we've come. Like, if you look at what Apple's doing here, Apple is right at the top, right at 146, still can't break out those highs. That's why the ES isn't going anywhere. And I know that wick makes it look ridiculous. Trust me, Apple has moved today. It's not that much of a barcode, but it cannot take out the high. That's why I want to respect. Twitter did open. Oh my
Twitter
goodness.
opened?
I did not see that coming.
Okay, so everyone loses on that poll. Sorry about that. Yeah, Twitter there. Exactly the price we said, 52. There's Twitter now open. I would say it's a screaming long from here, but again, without watching it and trying to figure out what Twitter's doing, here it is open right now at 52. So here it goes, man. I think it's a long.
It's too late in the day to short it.
I think it's better unless you have some sort of a reason to short this name. I don't think I would do it, but up to you guys. If you can have a stop at 50.
It's not close enough.
I mean, you got to have that stop, right? If your stop comes through there at 52, then I think it's okay. But let's just see where Twitter goes.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what is the case for this to even trade anywhere near the $50 range. I can't think of what that would be. But like I was saying before, if it popped up, I'd start shorting it at 53.50. It's 340. Sean and I and everyone in Day Trade the World has to be out of position by the end of the day. So even if it were to make a big pop into 53.50 in front of that price, it would be difficult to put that one on because, ultimately day traders have to cover. So even if you have a good short, I'm not holding it overnight. Unfortunately, we can't do that. So that's out the window. It'll be in play tomorrow, obviously. I'm just trying to catch any kind of, if anyone tries to dump this, I'm just kind of sitting in a bid looking for that 50 level to come back in there. It didn't happen, but on the reopen, that was the first thing. I just wanted to pick up any kind of a dip. So threw a bit out there. If it takes out the high, there might be a bit of a break. Right now, it feels like 51.50 has an iceberg, and that's the only level you can work off of. Tons of volume, though.
All right, so we flipped over to the short on AMD. Let's see if that wants to work out for us here. We went a little bit long and then it broke and then we went short. Like, I don't know, man. I feel like I'm going to get whipped around on this one again here on AMD. So that's going to, that sucks. Looks like it wants to go back up to the upside. I thought maybe the pressure would be to the downside right now. Doesn't look like it's trying to do that. Brendan just popped in there. It was 10 minutes ago. We've just been so distracted. It's 11 million. 135 million, sorry, to buy on the imbalance locator here for the close. So we'll see if that has anything to do with anything. But right now, that sucks, man, because we were just long. We were just long right here and then got out. This was just a small hit, man. We took about a 10-cent hit, but now we're averaged back into the short. Unfortunately, I thought it was going to break. Like when Twitter opened back up, for some reason the market spiked down. So I was like, okay, maybe there was some sort of a reason why they want to sell the market now. We have our out at 68 right there, 68.02. So if we do take that high, it sucks because I initially was looking long on AMD and I don't want to go too much back and forth with this name here. So yeah, let's just watch it. If it goes down, great. If not, we have our targets to get out of that. So no skin, no loss here. Too bad. If it does go back up, it's going to be about 7 cents. I still don't know what that saying is. I'm not going to say it yet. This went all the way back down to 248. I don't know, man. Now that we're open, like I feel like the story's over now, and you just got to trade what you see. So I'm just going to keep doing that. We still have that top of 249. If it comes in, then it comes into play, and that's fine. Let's see what happens now with Tesla.
Yeah, so right now, the only thing you can do on Twitter, at least what I'm seeing, is there's a 51.50. It won't even go to 51.50 anymore. But then every time it gets down to 75s, there's a bit of a bid there. I did get some, scalped some out, and maybe we'll see. It also can't break 52. So respecting that, I'm going to get out and just go back on the bid. So I'm going to be on the bid in the 60s and 70s and just try to catch this in front of a 50 stop. And then if 52 breaks, maybe there's a breakout style trade there. But that's kind of what I'm seeing over there on Twitter. And I know because of the scaling, it's moved so much, the chart's going to be a little bit weird. But if you're following along here, there are some actual legit buyers in the 51.50 range, as it makes sense that there would be, right? You're going to be thinking about the time value of money here. It's worth keeping in mind that whatever you think of deal spreads, last year, very, very different scenario because rates are much higher, right? So as rates are higher, you got to think bigger spreads on some of these deals when it comes to the time value of money. So a little bit of a mental shift you have to put in. This price, 52 from 54, last year you'd be seeing a spread that would be a little bit tighter when rates were a little bit lower. Yeah, good call on that one. So we did get something out there just for a small, you know what? I mean, here comes, okay, so good out for me there on AMD as we just take off some pressure there because I'm not in love with that trade. All right, I'm going to take another piece off right now for this Tesla here. As if, man, like I thought I marketed out there, but I didn't want to cross the spread too much. And now we're sitting here in this trade still. So let's see if we get a nice little market to the downside. There it is. We actually got picked up at 67 there. So good trade here. My real day is going to last on is going to be on AMD though, because we do have that short on board right now on this stock. So I think it's wise for me to start to get something out here on AMD in case that market does reverse itself and come back in. So right now I'm going to cancel everything on Tesla and just see if we do have a little bit of a downside press here into the close for TSLA. We'll just get out. We'll get out of that one when we. Whoa! What
that's
the
Amazon.
heck is that?
When we see fit. You tell me.
I just punched out of Twitter. Somebody just showed up on, like there was a huge wall at 51.75. I had to get out of position before, but there was a huge wall just showed up out of nowhere at 51.75 and was looking like they wanted to walk it down. Don't tell me that was just a spoofer. Yeah, maybe someone was spoofing it, but there was a huge offer. It was enough for me to just get out for about like 7. I think I lost maybe 7 cents on that last trade. But it was a good scalp, 51.75. It was giving you lots of outs in that 51.85 to 20 range there. But I mean, someone's playing some fun and games there. And by fun and games, I mean just quote stuffing. It feels like they're going to be gone and maybe I got shaken out of the trade. But I'm going to respect that when I see it, especially this close to the imbalances. Like I don't want a situation where someone is dumping a boatload just wanting to be out of this trade, taking that profit and chase something else in the markets. And still in some AMC, going to have to get out of that. It's coming back to the upside. Roblox as well, making a bit of a press. I do have a trail on Roblox. Looks like he doesn't want to give up VWAP. But that's also this high here. So as I look at Roblox, this is maintaining its breakout. If we close above like 38.50 on Roblox, it's holding this breakout from last week's high. So maybe that's reason to even get out of it right here. When in doubt, zoom out, man. a hold of this level is really strong. That's pretty bullish for Roblox. Even though it can't break 39, it's holding the top end of that channel. I should be coming in saying, okay, if we break down below 38.50, the short's back on. But above that price, I should be thinking about some longs in Roblox. As much as the short worked, I'm kind of talking myself into coming into tomorrow a little bit more flexible with what direction I want to take this trade.
Yeah, Twitter resumed trading, and it actually resumed right before that we were about to close this poll. So we'll.
I was dead wrong about that.
Let's see. Yeah, I mean everybody was wrong. I remember I was trying this to be funny, and I guess I've already voted, or I can't vote on my own poll right there. But it looks like the no's are going to lose, although it was overwhelmingly to that side. Expect the unexpected in this market, that is for sure. All right, yeah, all right, let's see where we go now. I've decided here just to hold the rest of AMD. It's starting to fall back down. We're short at 92. We've just scalped out this at these bottoms, around this bottom of 80. So if we do get a little bit of a move down into like 75, and I know it's such a small move, but we'll take out one more piece, and then we'll hold the rest until we get that 68 break, if and when that does come through. Maybe it does, maybe it does not. Good out for us on Tesla there too, 47.65. Let's see if that remains the right play or not on that. I do have a 249 out to get out of the rest. So here we go. This is in the money, 70 cents. The most I'm willing to lose on the last piece would be 20 cents. So, you know, works out here on that. So pretty happy with it. And there it is as well. We just got out on AMD at 76 or 75 right there. So now we have the rest. We're going to hold this 20 cents against us. Fine. If it goes back up, you got it, AMD. If not, let's see what happens in about a minute when these imbalances come out. Hopefully, it's not a rip city on those imbalances. Brendan gave us the update just 3 minutes ago, again, that it's still that 135 to buy. So we're going to watch out for that. And then, oh yeah, Amazon was the other one, 121 breaker on that one, and we're going to get out. This is the mistrade of the afternoon for me, because realistically, I was talking about it right there, and we should have shorted, but we did short Microsoft, which paid us out right there as well. So Microsoft was a good short. Obviously, so was Tesla here this afternoon. That's been a good trade. And then this AMD is right now 20 cents in the money, risking 8 cents to the upside. So far, so good on all of this. Neil, 30 seconds to go.
Yeah, I'll wait till the imbalances come up, but I wanted to say one thing about Twitter after something I saw in the chat. I did get out of Roblox at that VWAP as it comes into we come into the imbalances, but I'm holding on to the last of AMC. I'm going to have my eyeballs on Twitter and Tesla just out of what's and giggles, because we expect maybe something could happen in this next 10 seconds. But I did want to say something after we get the imbalances, because I don't want to interrupt myself, and you guys want to see these, and we always try to give them to you live. I don't know who else is going to show them live for you. In 2 and 1. Come on, be a big one, Tesla or AMD. Yeah, you know what? Cisco is the biggest at $2 million to buy. Apple, $970 to sell. JP Morgan, $770 to sell. Snapchat to $580 buy. I guess that makes some sense, but not a heck of a lot here. Amazon, $450,000 to sell. These are relatively small. We'll wait for the net to come in, but it's even hard to tell. Like Apple is the big one to the sell side, but JPM's there. But there's enough buys that 1.1 billion to buy. I would not have guessed that. Not with Apple. With Apple at 1.2, I would never have guessed it. But we are 1.1 billion to buy. AMC might not care, but the market might have a chance to take a run at that 3,800 on the ES to be sure. What I was going to say about Twitter, because I saw this conversation in the chat, and for anyone that's watching, the reason it's not trading at $54 is because until the deal closes, you have A, the time value of money, B, the risk that the financing falls through and we don't get a deal, and then C, the chance that there's any regulators that come in and try to block it for other reasons and the deal doesn't go through. So yes, it is a done deal in terms of the shareholders voting for it and Elon agreeing to the price. Those things don't always mean 100% that it closes, and if you don't believe in that, trust me, I was in one of these when it fell apart. Thankfully, I'm still here to talk about it.
Yeah.
It happens, I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, it does. I mean, anything. That's a crazy thing about this market. All right, so we are able to, I was just looking at Mondelez here. because that's a big imbalance for them. It was just up here 1 million shares. It's only done 7 million today. So this one could be interesting on Mondelez as well. Apple, Neil's already gone over that. Snapchat, no surprise, that's a buy as it's going to get some of that Twitter love as well on that. And then there's your CCL on the downside. But I mean, good day for CCL anyways. But there's that downside move. Sorry, it's a buy. Sorry, what am I talking about? CCL up 13% there today. And there it is as a bid. I don't want to be telling you guys the wrong thing. And then, you know, because Amazon's a sell, of course it goes up. So we are getting close to getting stopped out of our Amazon trade. Our Tesla did get stopped out at 249, so that's fine. That was well worth it for us to hold that. Again, capitalized all, like these are the shorts, out, the last piece right there. So we did have 20% left for flat right there as we get a 18 cent hit, because we actually got there 249.09. So we actually wind up taking 28 cent hit, but still well worth it. Good coverage on that as now you're starting to fade back out. Those are the imbalances. All right, so we did get a real low tick.
Sorry, someone's buying the farm on Twitter at 51.50.
Yeah, let's go over to Twitter because that's probably has the most action.
It's pure scalp trade, but somebody is loading up at 51.50. Even when it broke, it would go 3 cents and they would just reestablish the bid. Really the only trade you can, well, I shouldn't say the only trade. The only trade that we could make on this would be sit in front of it, give it like just have a stop beneath that 51.50 at like 45 or something, and then try to make that rinse and repeat. By the time I noticed it, it's already moving to the upside here, but I'm going to sit in like 02s or something, 52s, I should say. On the chart, it's not going to look like a heck of a lot. It's just going to seem like it's not doing anything because we're halted for so long. So it's hard to be able to tell. But you know, on the level 2, you can start to see the buyers are stacking up here. There was no imbalance on Twitter, so we're not really worried about anything coming on the sell side. But I will just check it out just to make sure there's nothing crazy happening. Of course, now as I say that, you can't even get the 50s anymore. It's like punch first, talk later.
Yeah, we're just chilling now with only 7 minutes left. You know what we haven't done, man? We've covered Tesla, we've covered Twitter, we've had some good trades, some bad trades, so on and so forth. A lot of fun here today, but I'm not sure what that like count is at. So it's just that 1K. We got to get to 1.5K every day. There's only 2 more days, and then you're going to get that wrap, hopefully anyways, coming through. So let's get that to 1.5K. We just got stopped out. Oh, Amazon. So Amazon just broke up. Thanks again for watching, man. Over 5,100 watching, only 1,000K. So that means 20% of you. Let's get a little more than that. All right, so AMD's just dancing. Amazon was amazing today because we just absolutely destroyed that name. Obviously, we'd love to have a little more being held right there, but we did hold it a little bit to the end. I got to work on holding things a little bit longer, but Amazon at the top, 123, an absolute beauty of a level there for Amazon. We'll look to see about grabbing that again. And then our AMD trade, man, I don't know. Let's just start to piece this out. I mean, it looks like it does want to get back up to the upside. You are going to get a 355 flip situation here. So if we go back up through 68, we'll get out of this. We are still short a little bit of it, but it was a good couple outs, man. We got some outs in the 60s, so this trade will be okay. Here comes some action at 55.
Yeah, so I'm all out. We'll do this one for what happened in AMC at that $8. I just had to take it out. We have 5 minutes to go here. And it didn't want to break into view up 770. Great support for it. But yeah, don't sleep on what just happened at Twitter. When you see an iceberg, you kind of know it. And if you don't know what an iceberg order is, it just means that you're displaying an amount of size. Could be 100 shares, could be 1,000 shares, but you have shares in reserve beneath that. It was both an iceberg, but also even if the iceberg would break, the bidders just showed back up again. So you probably had multiple buyers at that 51.50. Now you're right back up at that 52, the exact trade that we got scared out of. So at this point, like there's sellers in front of 52 and buyers in front of 51.50, and the trade was just to scalp it, doing tremendous volume. This is going to do a lot of volume tomorrow as well. So we'll be back to the well on Twitter. I expect this to be a volume leader. I'm not going to say it's going to lead the market in volume because that's, I shouldn't make that prediction, but there's a pretty decent chance that on the New York at least, you might see Twitter lead New York in volume. It's just not going to be, I don't think you get dollar moves on this tomorrow. I just don't see any way that's going to happen. I think you're going to get some good scalp trades in that 30 to 50 cent range to be sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's doing about 1.5 million shares a minute right now. So yeah, that if it keeps up that pace, yeah, it'll be a no-brainer tomorrow for that. And I just feel that right now, the deal's done as far as I can see. I don't see any reason why it could get. We've talked about some reasons why it could possibly turn around, but for me, I just feel like if you're a big whale or something and you did have a bunch of shares on Twitter, you know, do you want to wait? So it's 52, so you can wait for a little bit more to get $2, you know, in profit, $2 more than what you could get right now. So I'll just be interested to see where this trades tomorrow. So that's sort of a little bit of commentary
well,
there.
Rates at 4%, right? So if it
I don't
takes
know the date,
if it takes 1 quarter to close, then you can get 1 point. If it takes 2 quarters to close, you get 2 points. So I can see where the time value money might keep it down a little bit, but it just feels like you want to favor the longs. Like I wasn't even thinking about the shorts, so I think you want to favor longs going into tomorrow.
Definitely. So Hindenburg closed their long position on Twitter, so that's good, of course.
They better have.
Yeah, but that might, I mean, what does that mean, though, about the position as well, right? Maybe they are, why would you close it? I mean, like we just talked about
again,
it. So
it's just,
it depends what your capital
You might feel like you took so much out of it. Look, if you just got 25%.
Yeah,
and
one day.
there's yeah, exactly. You just got 25%. But this is the offer. Come here quickly, guys. This is the offer. Oh, yeah, it was too late.
There was a big one.
There
at
was
52.
another huge offer at 98. Again, someone just kept selling this at 52. Well, that's the other thing. We're still early on in the week, but there's options as well. Heavily traded. Like options are very heavily traded for betting on deals, whether they will open or close, and especially for hedging when you take arb trades based on the time value money. Lots of hedging gets done in the options, so you might, somebody could be off guard. You could be a lot of call buying in here as well as we go into it. 2 minutes to go. This is going to be an amazing one. I feel like I've already forgotten about Tesla, but guess what? It is still south of 250. So that's going to be a level to watch again tomorrow.
Yeah, I feel like this market, though, I mean, what a great move. We called 5% move would happen at some point. It had to go down first and then rocketed absolutely all the way back up. We're going to give a big shout out. We'll have Raider Trader on tomorrow, whereby he's going to have to say that today was the bottom. So I don't know what exactly that means. We're closing up 3%. So if we're going to say that today's the bottom, that means that whatever the closing price today is the bottom. So if we tick down tomorrow, we'll see. We'll see what he's talking about. He had shown a couple charts. We'll get that because I know there's a lot of talk there. I don't know why it matters what his call is, but we'll wait to see here for that one. All right, AMD again, good trading into the close. So that was a good one. We'll slap ourselves around there because we initially wanted the long. We flipped over to the short, printing for sure. Our best out 77 and our best out on the imbalance was 70. So good trade there. We're short 92 with now less than a minute to go. I mean, I was just waiting lower. I have an order in the 60s and in the 70s. Otherwise, we take out 68 and get out. So we'll wait to see if we get a little whoosh down here into the close with only that 30 seconds left. We might get a whoosh up right now into the close. Tesla, like you just said, Neil, is bouncing around and just chilling around 249. It doesn't know what it wants to do. There's our last trade on it getting out. But again, a couple good shorts, short all day, and then short here in the afternoon. But again, kind of barcoded the last hour. Besides
I think I missed it by a second.
Dips. But here we go. Okay.
Get Tony on there. It's actually 5, 4, and 3, 2, and ring it now, Tony.
And that's a wrap, man. As the market, the market is now closed, and all is well. So we'll wait to see here what the market wants to do.
I just saw where we closed on the S&P.
Oh, did we? Okay, let's go over to Brendan and find out exactly where we closed.
Wanted to wait for the last little uptick there. We did actually close on an uptick as well. So here we go, 3+% for both the S&P and the NASDAQ here. NASDAQ leads the way, but yeah, huge monster day back to back here for all three U.S. markets. TSX 2.6 here in Toronto. Only Brazil lagging 3% for crude oil on that OPEC Plus node. Both Bitcoin and Ethereum with a positive move into the close. What a day, guys. What a day.
Definitely what a day. But before we get out of here and wrap it up, I just want to shout a couple of things out there. Thank you for the super chat, Farm Trader. We'll show you. The shorts got the finger today, and they got it in finger at the end of the day. That popped $1.20 literally in the last 10 minutes. So apologies for missing that. I was glued to Twitter. That's on me. To be sure. We'll shout that one out. And yeah, of course, thank you to our sponsor here, True Trading Group. You'll see them as well again. They're fantastic. Gave me free memberships yesterday. Check out their stream. The link is there at the top. What a day this was. Market's up 3%. We're above 3,800. We get the Twitter deal closing, so everyone that's holding those shares is going to love it. All the traders are going to love to be able to trade this one because the volume's going to be there. And then Tesla's going to be active, which it already was because of it.
And the market's up 3.5%. I mean, wow. I mean, what a crazy opportunity to buy the last couple of days. We'll see if it can hold tomorrow. Should be very, very exciting with OPEC oil back up to $87 again. We did get AMD down there. For some reason, AMD did printed us. We only got the one bid that we had, 73 down there. So it did come in right off the close off of a big sell candle. So we're able to get that. Then the last piece I had to get out at 94. So that was the out there. And yeah, man, good day. Let's see. What is Twitter doing here in the aftermarket, just real quick?
Still good volume, man.
Yes, of course. Yeah, so we'll have to wait to see what happens at 52. Volume still going, obviously a little lighter since the market's closed, but that should be real fun tomorrow. We're very, very excited for it. Thank you to everybody for rolling through. We did get another super chat. Hard cider ale. Yeah, what's up, William James? Good call on that one. My wife loves cider, right there. Yeah, thank you for that. Maybe we'll have a drink or so. We probably won't, but maybe we would tonight. Kids got swimming. What's on your...
You know what? We no longer have anything on Tuesdays. It was soccer, but soccer's over. So we're trying. I don't know. We don't have Aaron in a fall like team sport, which I'm kind of regretting that decision now. But it is what it is. I might crack a drink, and the reason why we can definitely celebrate what you're about to show. That's a reason. Yeah, but another reason is I didn't get hit by a car this morning. So
right, that's good. Yeah, you're still alive. But here we go. Here we did get a. Little medal. This is called a ribbon, I guess. But she has qualified now. What's up? She qualified now for the city finals, and it's her first time ever with track and field.
I got one suggestion.
Yeah.
So just to reduce the drag.
I don't think she would have worn
that hat backwards.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask her.
Yeah, go with the backwards cap.
I'm gonna ask her about that. But she came 13th out of I think 180.
Last I checked, that's pretty damn good.
That's not bad, and her friend came in 12th. But the funny thing is, she told me on the phone.
Did they run together?
I was talking with her. They were sort of together there. But she said that at the finish line, there was a lot of parents or people cheering for this one girl who was like ahead of her. But that motivated Gia to go past that girl. So that was pretty savage of her to do that. So I'm pretty proud. We're really proud of her.
That's when you got to give that look when you're going past.
Yeah, I think she just put it on like crazy there. What happened? 404. 404. Okay, so just because of that, we'll delay this a little bit more. So okay. Thanks for that update there, Fahad. So guys,
we're talking about his daughter doing well in the cross-country.
No, Fahad. Now you're gonna stay back a little longer.
Oh, you're going to Ripley's?
Yeah, that's good.
Fahad's taking his daughter to Ripley's
I don't care.
Aquarium.
It doesn't matter. The daughter has absolutely no idea. The daughter's how many months? 8 months, a year, something like that.
That's too young, by the way.
She'll wait. She'll wait for that one. But yeah, we still have a couple minutes to go here. So yeah, we'll see what happens with Twitter. It should be really good. The trade of the day was Tesla coming through right now. But also, guys, I mean, crypto today. Bitcoin 19.7, that has some good movement. Ethereum 1,300 as well. But we are approaching now 405, so I guess we can wrap it up. So let's do that right now. Thank you everybody for watching. It was such an exciting day. We're back tomorrow. It's Hump Day, Wednesday. So have a lot of fun. Hope you're able to do that. Join us tomorrow. I don't know if you want to be short or long. It was a big day today. Up another 3%, right, Fahad?
Keep it going.
I mean, absolutely amazing right there on what we're at right now. So 3%, what was it, 2.5% yesterday, 3% again today. This market is absolutely on fire here. So, all right, for everybody at Trader TV Live. Oh, wait a second, before we go, let me just check out how many likes did we get?
That's what
we
you
only
get,
got 1.4K likes.
Keep it going until we get to 1.5. The longer we keep this going and get it to 1.5K likes, the more frustrated Fahad gets, and I'm loving every single minute of it.
Yeah.
Fahad's pacing right now.
Yeah, the reason why I'm doing this is Fahad's like, it's 4:04, time to wrap up. But unfortunately, we're over here and you're over there, my friend.
Do it.
And by the way, Fahad, now it's 4:06, by the way. So, all right, see ya, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow, 8:30. Ciao.